Okay guys, so this is day 2, and last week I had requested that you must have a VMware workstation downloaded, right? And I requested that you should have VMware workstation downloaded and installed. So those who are following the lab with me, then you should have installed VMware Workstation. That's one thing. Okay, so one pair for me, please. Yeah, sure. Yeah, before the start of the video, I was saying that I have Australian lovebirds or budgies, and they're kind of parrots, lovebirds. So a pair free, right? Until supplies last, first come first serve. What am I saying? Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so if you have installed VMware Workstation, that's good. And then second thing is that you should just download ISO of 2019. We're gonna install together, right? So I had requested that, and I expect that those who are following the video should have that. Following the video should have that. Already there. I was also requesting before the start of the video that it's not compulsory to follow the lab, but it's compulsory to understand what I'm doing. And suppose you're stuck with some point there, and I could give you some tips quickly, and if you're able to go out of that a bit quick, like 3 minutes to 5 minutes, yes, then I can help. But if the problem on your side is longer, then thing is that you can wait for the video to be released and then follow the lab at your own pace. And throughout the week you can put questions in the WhatsApp, and I can give you tips and tricks. But today, like during the class, if you understand what's going on, if you understand all the topics about what's going on, and yeah, if you're doing the lab with me, it's okay. But if you're better understand, and if understanding is affected because you're following the lab with me, then better sit back and understand everything and ask questions. Hey, teach, why did you do this option? Why not that option? And what about this option? What about that option, right? So it's always very, very important to understand, because in the interview you can only answer questions if you understand. If you're already in a job and somebody asks about some features, so if you had understood that feature properly, then obviously you would be able to explain that. And otherwise, doing the lab with me now in the class and not understanding, then what was the purpose of coming here? So try to understand, but if you can understand and do the lab, it's okay. If you're a good troubleshooter of your issues coming to your side. Otherwise, I can help for a small time, but let me finish the lab, and I can help later throughout the week. And I would need volunteers as well that could help others as well. So the course could go ahead with more in-depth labs, more longer labs, more newer, longer labs, right? With labs we do understand, so I would say that repeat all the labs at home when the video is released, and do the labs multiple times. Repetition is the golden word here. Did you repeat the labs, right? And overconfidence really kills us kills our future. Overconfidence means, oh yeah, I understand everything. No, if when you do it 2 times, now you understand. If you did it 2 times, most probably the confidence is much, much higher than you just saw it here or just once did it. Okay, so I repeated all those steps before as well. I repeated all those talks before as well. There is in the chat, let me just where is, who asked that? Oh, let me see. Sorry guys, just putting a message to one guy. Thank you, Manzur. So, message delivered. And okay guys, what are we going to do today? So let's try to talk about it. And what we're going to do is, first of all, we have Azure Cloud, right? So Azure Cloud is what? Somebody else's data center. It's Microsoft's uh, data centers across the globe, right? So these data centers we remotely connect from home or from office, and then we can do what? Because it is the three types of clouds that we have talked about already, I guess. So IaaS and PaaS and then SaaS, and we are doing what? Infrastructure as a service, where you create infrastructure. What is infrastructure? You create virtual machines, VMs, you create storage for corporates, terabytes of data, security, high availability, and networking of all type, subnets and routing, so firewall and security and databases. That's what you do in data center, right? So that's what you can do here in the Microsoft Data Center. Microsoft Data Centers or Microsoft Azure Cloud is second best. Azure Cloud is the second best, but then which one is the best? AWS, right? AWS was the top cloud. Normally, when I normally start a AWS and Azure course, but Azure is so much in demand. My current job is all Azure and Office 365. So, which is new name is Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 and Azure are so much in the market, but wherever you check the job announcements, you see Azure and AWS. Azure and AWS, in fact, Azure AWS, Microsoft 365, Azure AWS, Office 365, right? So these are the technologies. So right after this course, I will be launching Azure AD Exchange Online and Teams Online, which is critical, and I'm facing those critical issues in my job, and so many others are saying that yes, they are seeing Exchange Online and Teams Online a lot. So we're gonna, right after this course, we're gonna launch that too. Okay, and yeah, one more. I really need to launch Intune and endpoint management. That is coming really fast on majority of the companies, which is endpoint management. You can manage all the devices from cloud. Whoever is connecting from home with cell phone, tablets, and so that's not that easy. It's kind of tough. So it's that's why it's really critical, and these skills are in demand. Anyway, so let's go ahead. We were talking about infrastructure as a service, VM, storage, networking. Excuse me, frog stuck in the throat. Ribbit. Okay, and VM, storage, networking, security, databases, and then this is platform as a service, which is it is for programmers. You don't have to worry about the virtual machines. You have to worry about the operating system and the application that you deploy yourself. And then comes the SaaS. So IaaS and SaaS are something that non-programmers need to really worry about, and so programmers have to also obviously learn all these skills. So software as a service, and that is what we are not doing now, but this is Microsoft 365, Office 365, and all those. Here it just means that the software is ready. Software is already installed and ready to be customized. Okay, so we're here, and we're doing this infrastructure service. So now Azure Cloud is really pretty much in every company. Because of COVID, Microsoft 365, Office 365 was adopted so fast by big companies on wider scale that with Office 365 also they got easily connected to Azure. So Azure still is gaining a lot of momentum and reducing the gap between AWS and Azure. Excuse me. Now some quick terminology here that we need to talk about, and then we can head to the lab as well. So Azure platform. So if I go here, now I did ask you to create actually an Office 365 account and inside this we're going to explore all the Azure features, because the Azure Cloud is already 30 days only, so we're going to start the Azure Cloud topic, or we're going to connect to Azure Cloud when we start the virtual machine topic. So right now, Azure Active Directory, we're going to go in depth and try to explore majority of the features that are lab doable. Okay, so if I go to Azure Infrastructure Structure, so here, well, I just wanted to actually talk about global infrastructure quickly, and then we can go down to the lab and why this lab is important. And currently, I'm, what is my job infrastructure and some of the projects that some of the friends are doing, what are they facing in Azure. So that's what this is. I'm going to explaining that there. So if we go down here, so you can see extend your reach across 60 plus Azure regions. So there are 60 plus Azure regions. What is a region, and what is an availability zone? And then so you can see that where available region is blue, and it's dark blue, then there is availability zones, which is circle with the white dot inside. And then there are announced availability zones, which are upcoming availability zones, announced region. So what are availability zones? And there are so many new things that have been added to Azure Cloud. So this course covers those newer topics as well. So older Azure obviously did not have those announced availability zone. So what is that region? What is availability zone? AWS used to have a very good animated diagram for that. If I go to infrastructure.aws, is that even a domain? They used to have an animated map of that, and then I think they removed it, Global Edge Network. So that was very good to explain in an animation that how it is. It used to be on this link, infrastructure.aws. Now, why I'm going to AWS when I'm explaining Azure? Well, just to explain the concept of region availability zone. So I'm just going to go and explain that here. First of all, across the globe, wherever there is huge business, wherever there are factories and big businesses going on, Silicon Valleys, so Microsoft, AWS, Google Cloud have all created their data centers, right? So those data centers are, when I say data centers, so I'll quickly go for this, that data centers look like this. There's rows and rows of machines there, and thousands of millions of gigabytes of data there, and long cables going on. So the data centers are connected this way, and so that would be in the background if somebody's not organized. Okay, so anyway, these are the data centers with huge amount of servers there. If we go back here, then okay, we get that data centers are big buildings that have rows and rows of thousands of 300,000 up to 300,000 servers, physical servers there, right? So a region would be a large physical area. So suppose this is one region, right? Actually, the actual region they are showing is this. This is the region. But region is a large physical area, east coast or west coast there in North America. And inside the region, so first comes the region, and then comes what? Availability zone. So region is a large area. Suppose they can consider the whole Ontario as a region. It's not according to the geographies we know. They just go through, hey, let's consider this from this area to this area as a region, wherever they see that business can connect to them fast, nearest to the business, faster to the clients in that area. Suppose there are 5 or 6 big cities in East Coast, so they would create a region there, because they see that those big cities have huge business, and the clients would want to connect to the nearest fast region, so they could create their virtual machines fast, their storage fast, their networking fast, right? And it would not cost them to remotely connect. Suppose somebody's in Europe and connecting to East Coast in Canada, So obviously the bandwidth charges will be there, and although there are submarine lines here across the ocean, so that these submarine lines here, they are connecting the data centers. These are submarine lines from Microsoft. AWS has their own submarine lines. They have invested on that level. If I go for submarine cables across the ocean, so that's how they are installing the submarine cables, and they're so that's how on the ocean floor they are putting the cables there, and the whole continent is connected. This is another picture of that. That's how sharks are communicating with each other on social media. Shark media, that is. Just kidding. Okay, and that's how they are putting through tugboat. They are putting on ocean floor the submarine line, right? So and they are connecting all the continents this way. If you connect through satellite, obviously it's going to be much slower. So through submarine lines or under the ocean floor, on the ocean floor, cables would get your internet connection real fast. So if we go to that, they have put some lines there. So these are their own submarine lines that are connecting our continents. Or suppose you want to migrate a virtual machine. Suppose you created a virtual machine here in Europe, excuse me, and that is active virtual machine. So all the users are connecting to this virtual machine, and you created a passive virtual machine or standby virtual machine here, or a copy of that exact active virtual machine here as well. So in that case, you can do that. And when you have an active passive or active standby virtual machines there, what happens? So end users are connecting to only the active machine. Suppose it's a file server, they are retrieving files. Whatever changes they are happening, they are sent to across the continent. Suppose they are across the continent to their passive machine. And it's what kind of synchronization is there? Anyone knows what kind of synchronization is there? There are two options here. Asynchronous replication and synchronous replication. So is it async going on across the continent when replication, or is it synchronization replication? So you can give your answers in the chat. Or is it sync repl? Which one is that, and what's the difference? Gotcha there. So between the continents, two machines, active machine is, whatever is happening in active machine is being copied to passive machine here regularly, so it could become a correct copy of that. Is that asynchronous replication going on, or is it synchronous replication going on? Anyone knows? I asked that question because I wanted to have a T-sip here. No, I'm just kidding. It was a question. Oh, sorry, I woke you up from... Oh, I mean like, hey, nobody's answering. This means nobody knows or nobody was listening. You hurt my feelings now.
Sorry, I mean, what's the question? Sorry, again?
Yeah, so the question is that this machine is active and this machine is passive, and there is a replication going on, and whatever is happening in active machine is being copied to passive machine. So yes, Jay Bala says in chat, delta sync. Yes, it is a delta sync. Delta sync means just whatever changes are happening here are being copied quickly to the passive machine here or standby machine. So is it a asynchronous replication or is it a synchronous replication? Okay, so Karaminder says synchronous replication. Anyone else? Is it asynchronous replication or is it synchronous replication, and what's the difference? Ha, gotcha there. Hey, Google it by now. I would have Googled it by now. Yeah, sorry, it's an early morning question. I mean, we're like yawning right now. And like, teach? Come on, a question? Are you kidding me? Okay, anyway. So, oh, Jbala says async. Okay, so there's Gurvinder says synchronization, synchronous replication. Jbala says async. So, which one is it? So a lot of people don't know, or maybe CP24 has some good news for us. So yeah, I know patios are open and parks are open, and you guys are planning. I'm also planning. just kidding. So okay, asynchronous replication is that. First of all, let's go to synchronous replication. Synchronous replication is same time replication, right? Same time. What does that mean? Same time replication means that as soon as the change, suppose somebody opened a file and written something and is clicking the save button. So as soon as that change is saved here, the same time the change is saved here as well. It is called same time replication, which means it needs a lot of bandwidth to do that across the continent. Even though we have submarine cables over on top of the ocean floor cables there that are really fast, but synchronous replication normally happens where? In LAN, fast connected networks, right? Local area network. So your branch maybe, right? Asynchronous replication is that first the change happens in this machine, then it is acknowledged that the change happened, and then it sends that here to the passive or standby machine here, virtual machine, and there's a gap, there's a time that it so it's not same time first of all, and first of all it acknowledges that the change happened here, and then that change is replicated or copied across the continent to the other machine, right? So there's a delay here. This is not same time, right? Now, why there's a delay and why are, so first of all, yes, the answer is asynchronous replication happens between two data centers in a region. Suppose there's a East Coast region here in North America and there's a West Coast region here in North America. Suppose these guys are replicating the virtual machine with each other, right? They have virtual machines here that are, replicating with each other. So even in that case, this is not a fast network. This is WAN, right? Over the WAN, when you are replicating, you cannot have huge speeds. You cannot right away send all the data same time. You cannot send data over this kind of distance, right? That is huge distance. This is a big ocean between you, and between two regions there's a big ocean, right? So, or a big land here. So that's why asynchronous replication happens when it is very long distances. Synchronous replication only happens within your branch. Suppose you have a Toronto branch and you have two physical servers there. They can copy. They can do synchronous replication, while asynchronous happens in the cloud for AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, and so definitely it's going to be asynchronous. But the main thing is, did we understand? The main thing is, did you understand? So make sure always whatever is being conveyed here is understood as well. Asynchronous takes time. Why it is implemented? Because there's a huge distance between data centers. Even these two data centers have big distance, right? These two data centers may have distance as well, right? Although they just look so near. Okay, so there's a delay to manage data bandwidth. Exactly, as you said, Eddie. If we fall to passive, yes. Okay, so Karminder says, so basically if something goes wrong with active, there may be, yes, there you go, Karminder, exactly. So there is a loss of data here while asynchronous replication is there, and Microsoft says openly in in their documentation that, hey, if my region goes down, if my one side, this region goes down, it's down now, right? So whatever data was being copied could be lost as well. Whatever data was written here and was about to be copied could be lost. So they are saying that there's always a chance of data loss because we're copying on the other side. Obviously you would take a backup here as well. You would have been taking backup here somehow, and so if it was not synchronized, at least it was being backed up. So you would have other ways to keep the data and not lose the data, but at least the other machine won't get it if it's an asynchronous application. And yes, it is asynchronous because it's large distance. So yes, you have loss of data there. Synchronous application only in fast networks. There's a delay to manage bandwidth, as Eddie says. So if we fall to, then Karaminder says that if we fall to passive, so obviously if this machine goes down, right? So this will become the active machine and whatever data was there in the last replication that successfully reached there, that data will be available in this new active machine, because the current active failed. It failed over to the passive, which is standby. Passive or standby, same thing. So this will become the new active, but you will find data whatever was successfully able to reach here. Okay, so that's one thing that and Jebala says in the chat, if a data center is located in New York and another one in Toronto, would do the yes. So you see the distance. It is pretty much van. So New York and Toronto is you can see how much kilometers is there. So yeah, if it's a big campus, right? So suppose you go for University of Toronto, there are buildings there, but they have dug out dedicated cables there, right? So in that case, they would have synchronous replication. It's all about distance, right? So data will drop if there's long distance. You enable synchronous replication, so there will be so much data that it will simply start dropping. So yes, it will be also async if it's Toronto and New York. Okay, I'm just gonna remove this whole writing here, and we were talking about that you need to we need to know that region is a big area near to wherever Microsoft thought that okay, this is nearest to the big business hub here. Toronto is a business hub, New York is a business hub, and for all the East Coast users, it would, and Montreal, yeah, Quebec, right? So it would create a region there, and the region is a big physical area. Then comes the availability zone, AV. Availability zones are smaller physical areas that have, so one region can have two to, we can say in Azure you would have three regions. So one region can have 3 to 6 is maximum, but 3 to 4 regions, 3 to 4 availability zones. So one region can have, sorry, 3 to 4 availability zones, and each availability zone can have 2 to 8 data centers. These are, this is oh man, that's a long one. Availability, why do they create long sentences? Ability zone. Okay, I'm writing this with mouse. I practice it a long time. Okay, so availability zone. So in one region there are smaller physical. So suppose this is one region, right? So there will be smaller physical. There will be smaller physical areas. Availability zone. So suppose there are availability zone number 1, availability zone number 2, availability zone number 3. Now these availability zone will have data centers. So it would be data center 1, data center 2, data center 3, data center 4, data center 5. Okay, this one is near to a, suppose, much bigger business area. So maybe it has 8 data centers there. Maybe it has smaller business area, so it has less business centers. So I'm just creating some, suppose these are data centers. So one region, and then there are 3 availability zones, 3 to 4, 3 to 6 availability zones. Availability zone 1, which is just another physical area. Availability zone is another physical area, and that is okay. Yeah, so restart your computer and come back, and well, so Eddie says she needs to restart her computer. So Eddie, if you're still there, I can repeat when you come back. So availability zone, there are 3 availability zones. So this is suppose you say this is Ontario region. This is I'm supposing they decide from where to where. It's not according to provinces. It's not according to cities. I'm just giving you an example that it could be an area of Greater Toronto area. Suppose that's one availability zone. This is the area of Greater Ottawa area, right? So it could be that big. One availability zone. Then there are data centers that are a few kilometers to a few hundred kilometers apart as well, right? Yeah, JBL says that I believe we have one in Markham. Yes, there is one availability zone there. Orang says I think we don't have data center in Toronto. Well, in Toronto, no. But so Jay, you are sure there's an availability zone in Markham? I heard that they were creating one. Yes, though I heard that. So okay. That is what my manager told me. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, I heard there was in Markham they were creating one availability zone. So one availability zone will have 2 to 8 data centers, right? And each data center can have up to 300,000 physical servers. So see how huge it could be. Servers. That could be Dell, that could be HP, that could be their own hardware. So 300,000 servers. So one region availability zone, smaller area. Suppose it's a greater Toronto area. Suppose one data center is in Toronto's, other data center is in Markham, other data center in Mississauga, another one in Milton. So it's kind of nearer. So within one data center, if you have a virtual machine, the other data center should be not that far, right? It should be nearby, so there could be replication partners created there for virtual machines. And so that's why we see availability zones 3 you will see per region majority of the time, and there are data centers 2 to 8. It could be any number of data centers. We don't, from our interface when we connect to Azure Cloud, we don't see data centers, we see regions, you know. So availability zone, yes, they do show that do you want to create your virtual machine in availability zone 1, availability zone 2 or 3, but they don't show us that, oh, which data center you want to create virtual machine. That was data centers, they handle themselves when we create resources on top of the cloud. So we don't get to choose data centers, but we can choose which availability zone we want to create virtual machine and which region. That's what we can choose, region and availability zone, when we are creating our resources. So remember, on top, the biggest physical area could be a region. It's not could be, it's a region. One region can have 3 to 4 availability zones in Azure. One availability zone can have 2 to 8 data centers inside, and each data center can have up to 300,000 physical servers. So that's keep that in mind always when we are about to create resources in different regions and availability zones. And whenever you're creating a resources, we're going to go and discuss that. Oh, when we're creating a virtual machine, so which region should we create? Obviously, our nearest region. Second thing, should you have a virtual machine that can be created where one virtual machine is in one availability zone and the other virtual machine is in another availability zone, right? So in that case, if there's a region level disconnection, so you lose, you're disconnected to everything, right? You're disconnected from everything, right? But if you have availability zone level disconnection outage, so you still have your virtual machine in another availability zone. Suppose you create your virtual machine in one data center within one availability zone and another virtual machine in another data center in another availability zone, right? Suppose you go for a virtual machine within a availability zone only. You don't choose across availability zone. Then Microsoft will create a copy of it automatically inside any other data center. But if you lose one data center, right? So your virtual machine will be in another data center. But if there's an outage on availability zone level, you lose the connection. If there's an outage on region level, you lose, obviously, disconnect. So the thing is that if you want to spend more money, you can create one virtual machine in one region, another virtual machine in another region. It will be more money, but if there's a region level outage, then your virtual machine will be on the other region as well. It could be West Coast and you're in East Coast, right? So we will discuss all that. What are the features that actually help us do this? So we're going to go in depth with all those features and check it out according to the strategy that in production environment we can take. Okay, so hopefully you understand that there's a region, there is a availability zone, and there is the data centers. So regions, there are 60 regions there, within one region minimum there are 3 availability zones minimum. So and then there are more announced regions and availability zones coming. Then there is edge site here, and edge site, normally whenever you hear the word edge, that means that these if you've heard about mirrors before, mirrors. So mirrors are mirror on the wall. No, it's not that mirror. So mirrors are cache sites. Okay, first I say mirror, then I say cache. What's wrong with me? So yeah, whenever, suppose you're about to download a software, and that software is also available in the servers in Europe. They are also available in the servers in Asia. They are also available in servers in North America, right? So but you are in North America, you are in Canada, right? So you would want to download the file from your region, right? So you would connect to the servers in North America to download that software, suppose whatever that software is. So this is also called here in Azure and AWS edge sites. Edge sites are across everywhere, and their main purpose is that if you are downloading something huge, suppose this in this Japan region, uh, excuse me, somebody shared, a company shared a software here. It's a big software, right? Suppose it's few hundred MB or few hundred GB software, and you're in here, suppose you're in Dubai, and you're about to download that, right? So it will, that software, when you click the download link, so they must have sent you a link, and that when you download that link, then first of all, Azure will check if this software is near the edge, near in the nearest edge sites. Edge sites are just servers that download software near to you, so you can download it fast. So those are edges. So first it checks its nearest cache servers or mirror servers or edge servers, that hey, is that software here? No. Then it connects, Azure connects to the main source. Oh yeah, this company was giving the software. Okay, so it downloads it to your nearest cache servers, which are edge sites, and then it downloads from there for the first user. Now the first user clicked the link, and that's how it happened. Then the second user, third user, fourth, fifth, sixth, and 2,000, 3,000 users, when they click that same link, because that software was downloaded by the first user already, because of the first user's click, it was downloaded to the nearest edge site. Second, third, and fourth users will all get it from the nearest cache servers, and the software will download real fast for the second, third, and onward, all the users. So edge sites are just cache sites where softwares are downloaded nearest to you, so you could download it fast, right? Files are downloaded like that. So those are edge sites and WAN links. So these are just over the WAN. You want to create secure WAN connection between your data center and your between your data center and the nearest Azure. So then it creates a WAN link. So yeah, this is some of the terminology I wanted to talk about. So I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, this is in the video. So when you watch the video, obviously you will see all that diagram there. You can even copy from there. So now I wanted to show you this. So I'm just gonna copy this in my Teams. So obviously when I copy here, it will, those who are logged into Teams will get that right away on your Teams as well, right? Yeah, there you go. So that was a discussion on the structure of Azure Cloud. This is the same for AWS, Google Cloud as well, right? That there are regions, availability zones, region availability zones, data centers, edge sites, right? So there will be more, obviously, terminology coming your way. So we're gonna discuss those as well. All right. Okay, guys. So that was one thing that we're talking about, infrastructure as a service. and we're learning how to handle data centers. So there are some more things. Oh, I also need to copy this to the chat. Oh, thank you. Okay, so here, that's the link that I'm on, and I put it in the chat as well as here. Okay. Fastest connectivity from your data center to the cloud at 100 Gbps, gigabits per second through Azure Express Route. There's an Express Route feature where you get a dedicated connection from your data center to nearest Azure data center. So Express Route, we're going to talk about that in networking topic. 170 global POPs there. Point of presence, these are those edge sites where the data gets downloaded and cached nearest to you. And then there's IP traffic stays entirely within our global network. So this is also good. See this, IP traffic stays entirely within our global network and never enters the public internet. So that's what we were talking about when we were saying that these are the lines here in the ocean. Those under on the ocean floor, the lines are coming. These are all, you know, it takes millions and millions of dollars to get put those lines on the ocean floor, internet lines, right? So Microsoft says that the whole network is our Microsoft global network. We have put those dedicated lines there, lease lines there, across the planet. So you are not on global network when you're copying data from one region to another. You are always on our network. So that's a good thing. Hackers, obviously, very genius hackers may get into this network as well, but it's not that easy. The public network is like Wild West, where our internet, everyone's connected, so all the hackers are always looking for opportunities. But this is when you're on Azure, it says you're on Azure Pure Network, right? So they have really invested. AWS has heavily invested on that too. Azure has global. Google Cloud is also doing that, and Oracle Cloud, they're all doing that now. Okay, and 130,000 miles of lit fiber optic and undersea cable. So that's 130,000 miles that we see in this diagram, right? So, okay, so we get that. That's a huge investment, and we're on the secure network here. And yes, so we can have a peace of mind that our data is traveling not on public internet but on Microsoft's private network, which is very good. Okay, so we talk about this now. Obviously, we still need to create our lab because we need to understand Azure Active Directory, and that's the milestone. That's the first major or most important topic whenever you go to cloud. The identity and security are the most important topics, right? So identity management just means that if you are a user of our company, then are you allowed to connect? First of all, are you even a user of our company that you're connecting to our Azure company network? And then if you are a user, then are you allowed to connect to our virtual machines, our databases, our virtual network, our storage, our critical files? Are you allowed to go there? So obviously, because this is over the internet, so hackers, they're on the direct target of all the hackers across the planet who are just doing it for fun or for money. Ransomware attacks to earn thousands of dollars from a company by encrypting their data. So the thing is that you need to first make sure that your identities or your users and groups are securely connected and being used in your environment, and are accessing your critical data, only those who are supposed to access the critical data, right? So that's where our first lab comes in, and we need to talk about that. So our first lab is, which is always the main lab when I start Azure or Microsoft 365 course, and that is the sync. So that is Azure AD connected to on-premises Active Directory. repository. So whatever the new changes are there, you will see that I've been doing that, and those who have attended my previous Microsoft courses, cloud courses, would have done that already. But whatever new things are coming there, you should also do a refresher on that. So Azure Active Directory connected to on-premises Active Directory, and actually it's the other way. On-premises Active Directory connected to Azure AD. So what is this all about? What are we talking about here? What is Active Directory? Okay, Active Directory is just authentication, authorization, and accounting or auditing system. So Active Directory. If you want to know more, then you can join free my 70-740 course, which is which was MCSE course. MCSE is now retired, but that really talks in depth about Active Directory, and huge amount of labs are there for Active Directory. But once you have a good background, so but what is Active Directory doing? It just offers AAA, and that is authentication, authorization, and either accounting or auditing, whatever you want to say. Both are okay. So that's what Active Directory does. And when you have a branch, now in the current company that I'm in, there we actually have total cloud infrastructure. They moved totally to cloud, and they wanted someone who had more cloud experience. What they were getting, there were interviews going on a few months ago, right? 5-6 months ago, in my current company, and whatever interview they were taking, they were more infrastructure guys, those who have worked on premises in the branches, but they wanted someone who has more know-how of cloud, right, plus infrastructure. So they wanted that. So yeah, I did answer all the questions of infrastructure related troubleshooting that they put. Then when they started asking about every concept of Azure Cloud, Microsoft 365 plus Azure Cloud, both. Lots of questions, lots of in-depth, and I started because I'm teaching it. So, so I was just giving lectures on pretty much every topic, and they say, "Oh, okay." So anyway, it's a good practice for me always to give this course, but it is I want to give value to students, so I will try to add all the latest ones, latest labs here in every new course that I go for. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start this. So the scenario here is that we have a server. We're about to create a Windows 2019 server or Windows 2016, whichever. So this Windows 2019 server, right, will have on-premises Active Directory. So name is just Active Directory domain services, but on-premises is something that we need to always add, that it is a company's local data center, a local branch's data center, inside which there is that Active Directory installed. So on-premises Active Directory is there. Now the scenario is that we have here a company who has an on-premises or local branch data center, and they have 390 users here, and the company has actually gone for, and they've bought Azure Cloud services. They decided to use the Azure Cloud services. So suppose they have gone to some databases there, they have decided to create some networks there. So in that case, they will be, so suppose they said that, okay, we're gonna have our databases in Azure from now on. We're gonna have our private virtual network with a lot of virtual machines inside, VMs inside, there in Azure. So they decided that, and they purchased some apps there as well. Suppose any other financial apps or firewalls there. So once they decided that we're gonna have a cloud presence, so they then said that, okay, all my 390 users should be able to use not only the local file servers, web servers, print servers. They're already using that, right? Local file servers. So they connect to they log in from their Windows 10 machines, and then they connect to a file server, FS. Suppose that's a file server. They have all the files here. WS, web server, or PS, print server. So they're connecting there already. But now company says these 390 users, not only that they should be connected to file server, web server, or print server, they should also be connected with the same credentials or with the same password at least to all the cloud resources as well. Now, if the 390 users which are already using the local applications need to connect to the cloud applications as well, and that also with the same username password that they are using every day. This is also called single sign-on. Single sign-on means what? That you use one username and password to log into multiple applications. It's not like application 1 is a separate username password, so you need to remember that. Application 2 have a separate username password, you need to remember that. Application 3 separate username password, right? So one username password connects to this application as well as this as well as this. So that is single sign on SSO, right? So you want to implement that users should be able to connect to local resources which are already, but they should be able to, the same username password with that, they should be able to connect to Azure Cloud. So that's what our scenario is, and we're going to do a lab on that now, where what we're going to do is we're going to install an Active Directory, pretending that this is our local branch, Toronto branch Active Directory, and then we're going to create 390 users inside this. Then we're going to connect this server to internet, and we will be making a connection from here, the local Active Directory connection. We will be making a local Active Directory connection to the Azure Active Directory. And why are we doing that? Azure Active Directory. Why do we need that? So these users, the username passwords need to be copied here as well, right? Azure Active Directory. Why? When the users are connecting to a database here, first somebody should be sitting there confirming, hey, are you really our user, or are you pretending to be that company's user and you're actually a hacker? So that's why when the user of this Active Directory is trying to connect to this database, has to go through then this Azure Active Directory, and it's going to find out, oh, are you our user? Give me your username and password. Okay. Oh, that's your username password. Okay, I think you're our user. So let's go ahead. You can go and use the cloud resources or cloud applications as well, right? So in order to do that, there are two ways. In order to do what? To have these 390 users copied here as well. There are two ways. One is that you can go the long way, and that is the boss says, hey, can you create 390 users in Azure Active Directory as well? And then you go for, oh yes, sure boss. So user John, okay, John, his phone number, branch number, that's all information Active Directory. Let me just go ahead and one by one create user John. Okay, 10 minutes here, putting all the information user John and username password, and then 10 minutes again, 10 minutes again. So 390 users times 10. So you'll be fired before you know that. Just kidding. Yeah, like the boss will say, are you kidding me? What did you do? Sir, I created all the 300 users here. Hey, didn't you use that Azure AD Connect? Don't you know that there is an Azure ADC tool here that simply replicates or synchronizes all the information from here? And obviously the same password and same usernames are replicated through AADC. So then you say, oh yes, sorry, just give me one more chance. I said, okay. So AADC, you're going to use AADC, which is Azure Active Directory Connect, and that's a connector or tool that helps us connect or replicate. This is going to, whatever number of users are here will be automatically replicated or copied to Azure Active Directory in, well, 1 or 2 minutes, right? So this means that you have here 10,000 users. In few minutes you can replicate those 10,000 users here in Azure Active Directory as well, right? And Eddie says, yes, this is forever. Exactly. So the thing is that once you have put that tool here, that's a very good thing to put that tool, and we're going to install that tool. We're going to do the whole thing step by step. This AADC does replication every 30 minutes. So as long as your server is up, it's going to replicate every 30 minutes automatically, or you can simply um, manually send some information there. If you don't want to do that manually, you can just tell the user, suppose you change a password for a user here, and then tell the user, okay, wait for 30 minutes and it will be replicated there as well, and after 30 minutes you can use the cloud again. So here we say 30 minutes. I'm saying 30 minutes, but in our current job, in my current job, what we say to the users, this is all totally cloud, right? So users are using Office 365, Exchange, and SharePoint, and everything in it. There's so many long list of applications there, right? So whenever there's a change, we say, hey, can you wait for a few hours? And the change will implement in few hours. And that's today we are saying that nowadays. So in few hours, that's not even 30 minutes, that's like a few hours. That change will implement in the background synchronization. Welcome to Microsoft in Cloud. Okay, anyway, so the thing is, can we change the replication time to something less? By default it is that, yes, but we can change it, yes. We can change that with script, and but the thing is, if it's a big organization, right? So you have 10,000 users here, suppose, or you have 50,000 users here, and you have so many 50,000 users, so there could be a lot of requests and changes going on, right? So in that case, when you reduce the time, what happens is that it's just going to be too much data there, right? For a big company, 30 minutes is actually fast. I'm telling you right already that in today's Azure and Microsoft 365 environment, we're telling users that synchronization in the background, I change your password, right? So I'm telling that, hey, it could take some time, or I just gave you permissions as an administrator, or a backup administrator, or billing administrator. So I'm going to tell you, okay, wait for it for 2 or 3 hours. It sometimes works faster. Majority of the time it works pretty slow. So 30 minutes is actually fast. You might not want to change that. Okay, so yes, yeah, Jay says there it's not recommended to change below that. Yes, you're right. Amanda says there are two scheduler processes, one for password sync and another for object attribute sync and maintenance stuff. Exactly, you're right. So this password changes faster, obviously, because you need to log in, and the other one, it's not, there's no fixed time for that. Suppose I gave you some permissions, there's no fixed time for that. It could happen fast. Just yesterday I gave one developer admin rights for some applications, so after 2.5 hours there was a message coming to us that, okay, this administrator, this developer has been assigned this. 2.5 hours, you kidding me? So anyway, and yeah, and Alice says, yeah, pretty slow. Okay, Amanda says, I think password one is immediate, right? Yes, password is much faster. Not every time immediate. Supposed to be immediate, but not every time. But it's much faster than giving rights and permissions. That takes. I was giving in SharePoint alert. I wanted to create an alert in SharePoint. So when you go to compliance policies in Office 5 and you create an alert, so there was a message there. Okay, you made a change in the alert. Wait for 24 hours before this change is implemented. So some services are ridiculously slow. Wait for 24 hours for the changes to take effect for creating an alert. And I was like, whoa. Okay, anyway. So the boss says, hey, just create an alert right now. I said, hey, see the documentation, boss. 24 hours. Yay. And the boss was like, are you kidding me? Anyway, so Raminder says, okay, that makes sense because I was thinking maybe password sync will also take 30 minutes. Yeah, so password sync If you don't want to do manually it will go much faster than 30 minutes. Yes, you're right. But if you don't do anything in 30 minutes, it will implement, and yes, it is exactly 30 minutes it will implement. Password change. Yeah. So otherwise, it just gets there. Okay, so manual is like pretty much right away. I'm going to show you the manual way, right? Okay, guys, so this is the plan here that we're going to create our local environment. We're going to pretend that we have on-premises Active Directory, local branch Active Directory. We're going to install Windows Server 2019. Then we're going to install Active Directory DNS there. And then we're going to install, create with PowerShell script 390 users. And we're going to make sure that it is connected to internet. That's all. This machine is just simplistic, as simple as possible. The objective is get an Active Directory, working Active Directory here in the machine, get 390 users there or 500 users. My script creates 390, that's why I'm saying 390. It's not a fixed 390, it could be 3900 as well, or just 39. Anyway, so we get Active Directory, we get 390 users there, and then we simply synchronize that to Azure Active Directory. Our objective is that these 390 users must go up there, be synchronized and copied in the cloud, right? So the whole objective of this lab is to show you that, and this is part of these are exam objectives as well, certification as well, that can you connect a local Active Directory and on-premises Active Directory to cloud Active Directory? Can you synchronize? Do you know how to use Azure ADC, Azure AD Connect tool? Uh, that's one part of our this lab. The second part of the lab, which is ongoing, which will be ongoing, is how to add a new domain to the tenant. How to add a new domain to the tenant. So remember, I asked you to purchase GoDaddy domain in $1 or $1.99, right? So that once we have configured all this, then we're going to connect our domain from GoDaddy.com to our Azure AD tenant, and we're going to connect that domain here. Then all these users, 390 users, which will have the local domain here, will be connected to the official company domain in GoDaddy.com. We will be connecting all the users to this domain. I'm gonna give the full business case for that too, that why are we using this. Okay guys, so let's go ahead, and our objective number one, so I'm just gonna control C that and put that diagram here so you can keep all the things in perspective. I hope everyone's logged into the Teams and is able to see in the Teams this what I'm pasting here. It is live updated there on your side, like right away it should appear there. So before the start of the class you must connect to Teams. Throughout the week you can connect to Teams. You can go to that Teams on the chat. You can see here there's a chat here, and you can say hi here, hey Amir, how are you, and then you can just leave me a message here as well, or WhatsApp is best. So there are many ways here. I WhatsApp still, there's Teams I'm connected to as well. Okay, let's go back to where we were, and now I'm just gonna create the other diagram here. So guys, main thing is, did you understand what's going on here? And then repeat the labs when the video is released, or now if you're fast enough, right? Okay, so Manzar says, why are we doing this on WebEx? Why not on Teams? Yes, you're right. WebEx is a very trusted partner of mine. I mean, like, yes, we can have a class on Teams as well. You're right. Right. Okay, there's a message. Hi, Amir, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Okay, so yes, you're right, Manzur. We can do all this on Teams as well. I just, we use Teams in the office all the time, so it is good, yeah. But surely, I will start using Teams as well. It's a good idea. Okay, for now, yeah, WebEx. Yeah, why I'm paying $20 per month for that? All right. Okay, so here the first phase is to uh, let's create our on-premises active directory, on-premises active directory environment first, environment, uh, environment, and then that's the first thing. So in fact, I'll just put that in one note, so we could really follow that step by step. So that's our let's create our on-premises active directory environment, and in that step, so let's open our VMware workstation in our laptop. Let's create a new VM with Windows 2019 server attached together, right? And let's go step by step. So there's a request here. If I no click, then you no click, right? If you're following me. So that's as simple English as possible. It couldn't be simpler than that. Otherwise, oh, I know how to install 2019. Yeah, okay. So if I customize anything, you'll be then left with it. Okay, so here, why we do? Oh, okay. So can we use 2022, 2019? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Microsoft did not release that 2022. So 2019 Windows is there. Hopefully you've downloaded that as I requested last week. So if I click, click, right? So otherwise, you then sit back when I do customization, right? So let's go for the plan. So the plan is uh, the plan is this. So let's install Windows 2019. Now guys, one more thing about that, we're going to go for a workaround. We're gonna go. So one student just passed the AZ104 exam and he's messaging that there on WhatsApp. So that's good. Okay. I would be if you can help me on this. Wow, he keeps on sending me. Let me just tell him. Okay, congratulations. I am teaching Azure class. Sure, will love to help. Okay, so let's go ahead. Yeah, what I was saying, Windows Store 2019. So let's just start installation of that, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and open my VMware workstation. And guys, I'll be explaining there one more thing, and that is we will install Windows 2019 with a workaround, right? With a workaround. Now, let me explain that too. So let us go ahead and let us install. So let's open VMware workstation. Here's a VMware workstation. Let me just check how much space is left here in my computer. 7 GB left, yay! Yikes. Okay. Okay, let me just create some space right away. That's why. So we're in June, right? So some space to breathe. Yeah, 22 GB. Okay, so I'm opening my VMware workstation. So skip this version. If you get this message, skip this version. And there's a CentOS that I tried to do the course on, and yeah, that couldn't find time. Really wanted to do that. Oh, I was teaching that. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'll just make some space. Alright guys, so let's go to home button here and let's click the create a new virtual machine. So we're gonna quickly create but just follow my steps, and whatever customization I'm doing, just do that, so you'll be fine. And let's go for create a new virtual machine here. So I'm gonna click that create a new virtual machine now. Typical, I'm gonna click typical, keep it clicked, next. And here, so what we need to do is that we're going to not give the path of the operating system here. Why? Because if we're supposed to put a path here for operating system, but if we do, majority of the students get an error. It's a bug in VMware Workstation for Windows 2016-2019 that it just shows, oh, your key or your license information is missing. So it says that it's a bug. So in order to avoid that bug, we're gonna go for a workaround now, right? So just follow my steps. The workaround just makes sure that there is no, that bug does not come to anyone. The bug that shows that, oh, the license key is missing, right? So I'm gonna click that. I will install the operating system later. This one. So click this one. I will install the operating system later, right? And then we click next. And here it's supposed to be Microsoft Windows. So just Microsoft Windows is there, so you can just select that. Windows 2016 if you see there, or Windows actually 2019 we are installing, but VMware Workstation might not show you 2019 there. So just select Windows Server 2016, right? Windows Server 2016. Hey, okay. Microsoft Windows Server 2016, and click next. And then there is I'm just going to type here the purpose. So it's win dash your first name, not my first name, Amir dash today's date 12 June 2021 dash, and this is just course name Azure 2 dash in dash 1 dash course, and our city name Toronto, province Ontario, country Canada, and planet Earth. Just kidding. Okay, so here Windows, your first name, and everything, right? Now guys, you may have just a C drive in your laptops. I have C and D drive, right? If you have a E drive or H drive and you want to save it there, put the whole operating system there, then okay. I want to not put my virtual machine in C drive, so I'm going to change that C. I have a D drive, so I'm going to change it to D. You don't have a D drive, so don't put it there unless you're sure that you actually have a D or E or F drive and you want to install the machine there. Then only change that. Otherwise, keep it C on your side, right? Okay, so I just changed it, and I won't change the folder structure here, so that's good. And if you have done that, let's click next. Next. Okay, so next, and then there is this specified disk capacity. So we have out of habit, I'm gonna put 200, but it's not gonna occupy that much space on your physical disk. Why? Because this is thin provision. By default it is thin provision. Thin provision means that whatever software you're installing, only it will take that much space on your physical disk. So you're installing what? Windows 2019, right? It takes how much space? 10 GB or 12 GB? So 12 GB is the space it's going to actually occupy, not 200 GB, but it's going to grow up to 200 GB if you keep on installing or putting a lot of software there, which we are not going to do. So anyway, out of habit, I'm just putting 200 GB here. And single file and multiple file just means that if you are having, you want this virtual disk to grow up as a single file, or you want this disk to grow as smaller chunks of files. So suppose after 6 months, 6 weeks, your virtual disk has grown up to 150 GB, right? So do you want this 150 GB virtual disk of this virtual machine to grow up as a single file, one big 150 GB, or if you select this multiple files, it grows in 4 GB chunks. So as soon as you're installing 12 GB of Windows, right? So it will be 4. It will be divided into 4 smaller files. So it's gonna go for 4 GB, 4 GB, 4 GB, 4 GB, 4 GB, up to 150 GB, right? Why is that necessary? Why those options are here even? So 150 GB file is, if you want, it's all for portability, right? Portability. If you want to copy over the network a big one file that is 150 GB, there are chances that it's not gonna get copied successfully. But if you copy smaller files over the network anywhere else, so you would be easily able to copy those to another destination over the network. So that's portability. Because of that, single file or multiple files is shown there. So obviously we can just keep it to split virtual machine multiple files, which is okay. And that's the main thing is, do we understand what we're doing, right? And I'm going to click next here, keeping this configuration. My suggestion, keep the configuration consistent with me or exactly as I do, so you'll be okay in the labs as well, unless you know what you're doing. Okay, next. And customize hardware. Let's do some shopping here, right? So let's click that customize hardware. And then there is that customize hardware. So my laptop has 32 GB RAM. Maybe your laptop has 16 GB RAM. So we want to install this Windows as fast as possible. If your laptop has 16 GB RAM, then give 14 GB RAM to this virtual machine. And since my laptop has that, so I can go for 16 GB RAM here. So it will be fast, or 24 GB, it will be even faster. So I'll go for 16 GB here. So first thing is RAM. If you have 16 GB total, don't give 16 GB, then give 14 GB here, right? You can just type here 14000.
Amir, sorry, one question.
Yeah, sure.
So on my workstation already there is another server, so but they are turned off. So can I still adjust this server to 16, or because of total I have 16 gigabyte in my computer, and also I do have a lot of server, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can I? So should I consider them, or because they are not they are power off, so it is okay if I give 16 or 14?
Exactly. They're off, so we don't have to worry about that. They're not using our physical RAM right now because they're off. So yes, you can give it 14 GB now, as long as this is the only machine that is powered on.
Okay, so already I installed this server. I didn't know we do it together. I thought they say just yeah. So right now it is postponed. My server is postponed. Can I change it, or should I turn it off?
What is the RAM you gave to that server?
So I give 5 gigabytes.
Which is okay. Which is okay.
Which is okay?
Yeah, this is just for installation to be fast. That's why I'm giving more. Otherwise, for running it, we can give 2 GB, 4 GB, 6 GB.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, it's okay. You can power it on and wait for us. That's good. Okay. So I'm just gonna give 16 GB here, and I'm gonna go for the processor here. The processor here would be number of processors 2, right? Which is okay. Number of cores 1, which is also okay. Just 2 virtual processors we're giving. But guys, later we're gonna have lab where we will be installing Hyper-V. Why? Because we're going to be what? So we're going to install a Hyper-V here. So this is the virtual machine, right? Inside this, we're going to install Hyper-V inside this, right? The machine that we're about to install. Then on top of the Hyper-V, we're going to create another virtual machine. So that virtual machine, we will be, making a replica of. That's a long lab, and that's a very critical lab. We will be making a replica of that machine in Azure Cloud. So that's a good stunt. It's not a stunt. It's just advanced configuration lab. So Azure Cloud, when we create a virtual machine in our Hyper-V, we're going to make this as active. It's going to be empty machine actually. If we put in operating system here, then it will with our bandwidth we won't be able to make a copy of that. So we're going to create a copy or replica partner of a machine inside our laptop Hyper-V. Its replica partner will be created in Azure Cloud, and not only that, we're going to be able to create that, we will fail over from our laptop based virtual machine to the cloud. So first it was on-premises machine was active, and cloud machine will be passive, and then we will simply fail over to make this the new active machine. So that's a big lab, that's a tough one, and that's very critical for you to see and do. So that's why we're going to select this option and this option in processor, right? So when we are about to do that lab, then I'm going to ask again at that time, hey, go to this area here and shut down the virtual machine. You can only click those options when it is shut down. If it is suspended, you won't be able to click that. It is shut down, then you can only click it, right? So anyway, when we do the lab, then I'll ask you again at that time, did you do this or not? For right now, we're doing this now. Okay, so then there's that CDBD, and remember that we did not give the path of the ISO, which we are not giving now. Then we're going to go for network adapter, right? Network adapter is going to be, there's bridge, and there is NAT, and there is host only, and there's custom. So bridge is, if you put the machine on bridge, what will happen is that it's going to be exposed to your physical network, right? And if so suppose you click the bridge here for this virtual machine and you power it on. So if anyone knows the password IP of this machine in your home, so if you have another person sitting in another room in your home, he or she can connect to your machine or ping your IP, because bridge exposes the machine to the physical network, right? Then there is NAT. NAT is network address translation, which just simply keeps you behind that NAT protocol virtual machine. So your machine will not be exposed to the physical network. So nobody in the other room can ping your IP if you put it behind NAT. It will be in a private IP within this environment. So it will get internet connection, but it will not be exposed on your physical network. Then there is host only, and host only is that your virtual machine, you can copy paste anything to and from your host. What is your host here? Windows 10, right? This Windows 10 in your laptop is your host. So your virtual machine can connect to each other. Suppose you select host only and you have two virtual machines here. So if they both have host only, then they can communicate with each other and with the host. Host is your underlying Windows 10, right? So you can copy paste software back and forth between virtual machine and physical machine. Oh, Mudassar says, oh, disk capacity. Okay, that's pretty far. Actually, Mudassar, I am not able to go back because there's no back button to. Is there? Somebody is really behind. And why? Why are you behind? If I click close, I do close all that. Oh, okay. So see this 200. Mohammed, are you there? So just type 200 here. That's it. And next. So 200. That's it. Nothing else. Next, and then go to customize hardware, right? All right. So customize hardware, Mohammed, here I put this 16 GB. If your laptop is total 16 GB, go for 14 GB. Just type here 14000. Or if you have 32 GB RAM or 24 GB RAM, go for 16 GB. So that's the first thing. And second thing is processor. So don't change anything here. Number of processors, just select these two options, virtual, Intel. So guys, maybe the first option in your side, maybe on the top. So just read that and then select virtualize Intel VTX. Select that option, and virtualize CPU performance, select that, right? And so these two options I selected in processors. Then we went ahead for CD/DVD, and there I'm on, so I'm just explaining here NAT. So just come here NAT, and I'm only explaining till now. We were talking about host only. So then there is custom. Now custom, there are 19 networks here, and those are all like if you have heard about the concept of in the switch, if you have heard about the concept of VLAN, so it's like that. If you have a virtual machine, and suppose you're connected to VMnet 0, or if I go on the other side, make it expanded again, select, oh yeah, it contacts again. So what happens is that if you have suppose there's VMnet 11, right? So you have one machine on VMnet 11 and the other machine on VMnet 16. So VMnet 11 machine cannot communicate with VMnet 16 machine. So the only thing to know here is that these are different networks. If you have multiple machines opened and you want them to communicate with each other, then they should have the same VMnet. If you have two machines, they both should have VMnet 15, right? Or they both should have VMnet 13, or whichever. If they're different, they won't communicate. If they're same VMnet for multiple machines, they can communicate, right? That's what it is. So and then there is LAN segment. So LAN segment is just about if you want to start, stop, and restart your virtual machines together. Maybe you're doing a maintenance or testing, so then you can do that. But here it's a full LAN segment separately available to have segments of networks. So guys, we're gonna go for NAT here. Why? Because our Windows 2019 is actually trial version, right? Our Windows Server 2019 is trial version. So that's why we need to activate it for 180 days. We need to activate it for 180 days. This is 6 months. That's more than enough, right? So what happens is when the trial version, when you log in the first time from the trial version, so it automatically connects to internet and downloads some files, and automatically it activates it, the trial version, for 180 days, right? So that's what we're going to do. All right. So the changes on this page are 16 GB RAM. You want to go for more, go for more. In the processor, we made these changes: virtualize Intel VTX EPT, this one, and virtualize CPU performance. This one we selected. Nothing in CD/DVD now, and then NAT, just selected NAT. So these are the changes we made. Hopefully those who are following have made those changes. I'm going to click close, and finish. Okay, so I'm going to finish here and start the installation. Okay, so I'm going to go for power on this virtual machine. And if you ever see this message, cannot connect to the virtual blah 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 blah, so data disk, so just click no. If you by mistake click yes, which is okay, it doesn't break anything. If you click no, this message will never appear. But remember that we never gave an ISO till now, right? We never gave the ISO we never mapped it to the DVD of this machine. So that's why this message is coming here, right? So just do exactly what I'm doing and you'll be okay. So I'm going to right click here, and now I'm going to go to the settings. I'm going to go to the CD/DVD, and then I'm going to browse and check where is my 2019 and then give the path here, right? So I'm going to right click here and go to settings. And then I'm going to go to CD/DVD here. Make sure that these two guys are checked. Make sure that these two guys are checked. Check, check, right? These two guys are checked. And now I'm going to just simply give the path of Windows Server 2019 here in the ISO image and press OK and restart the machine. So I'm going to go to ISO image file, right? And I'm going to go to browse. And where is my 29 and teen? Oh, I think this is it. 177.63. Yeah, this is the one. So I'm going to double click this. This is 4.93 GB. So this is my Windows Server 2019, right? So I'm going to press O and K, right? Press O and K. Now, once you've given the Windows Server 2019 path here, where did you download that from? Oh, Eddie, I gave this last class at the end of the class that please download it from Microsoft website. Yeah, I downloaded it from Microsoft website. And this is the link. I'll copy it there. So this is in WhatsApp as well, and you could just go ahead and download that from there. Okay, so here, so guys, thank you. Oh, okay, good. Okay, guys, so here, remember that it's looking for Windows 2016 right now. So either I could go to this menu and select the second one, but I'm gonna right click and restart here. After giving the path and pressing OK, I'm going to go to power and I'm gonna restart guest. Why? Because once I restart the guest, then it's gonna ask that, hey, press any key to continue to install Windows. So I'm gonna click restart guest now. I'm going to show you now. I'm not going to go ahead. See this press any key to boot? So I'm going to deliberately miss it. Why? Because when that message comes that press any key to boot, you need to click on this screen and then press any key on the keyboard to boot, right? You need to click on this screen. So if I click, you see that the hand sign is gone. How do you take it out? Control Alt. Now it's out. If I click, the hand sign will be gone again. And how to take it out? Control Alt keys on the keyboard. It's out. So practice that, and let's practice that till 2 o'clock. It's fun, right? Anyway, okay, just kidding. So I'm gonna right click here, power, and restart again now, right? So what happens is that you need to click on the screen and press any key quickly. I deliberately missed that again. Now third time I'm just gonna do that now. So I'm gonna right click here, power, restart guest. And as soon as I start guest, I'm going to click on this screen here to select the virtual environment, and then I'm going to press any key on the keyboard, right? So restart guest, I click on the screen and press any key. Yeah. So now it starts to install Windows. Yay. Okay. Hopefully that worked. And oh yeah, that Alice says I'm to download the Windows Server 2019 on prem, right? Yes, yes, Ed. So it's an ISO we are downloading. Okay, so here guys, if you are on time and currency format, so that's the only thing we are changing here. You can change it from here. You can change it when you sign in. You can change the date and time. If we change time and currency here, so it will change our time zone to correct one. So just for changing the time zone, I'm just going to select here this one, and then English United States is written there. We're going to select English Canada. So I'm going to go for up, 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 and up. It's way up actually. So English, English, English. Why so many countries speak English? I don't know why. Okay, English, English, Canada. There you go. So English Canada is here. So this will just simply correct our time zone and time, right? So I'm going to click next. And that's it. After that is just install, and oh yeah, one more thing I need to show here. So I'm going to click install now, right? Guys, remember not to select the first one or third one. These are command prompt based, command line based windows. So select the second one or fourth one. I'm gonna go for fourth one. Data center evaluation. Make sure that you're selecting desktop experience to get the graphical user interface or GUI, right? Otherwise, you will get command line. You have to reinstall the Windows again. So desktop experience is what you need to select. I'm selecting the fourth one, the last one. Second one you can also select. It doesn't matter for this lab. I'll click on. I made that okay. So, but hopefully you're okay with the desktop experience now. So you just have to reinstall. That's all. And next. So let's click next, and then yeah. So after that, it is I accept the license terms, and next. And then there is upgrade. We're not upgrading from anything. It's a fresh install, so we're gonna go for custom. And we're not really going for dividing these partitions. So 200 GB is okay. And then click next. And then it installs. Okay, so just it's gonna install now. Okay. So guys, we can take a break and come back. So 11:43, we can come back at 12. By that time, Windows would have installed. So class starts at 12. I'll mute and pause the video. Mute the mic and pause the video. And let's come back at 12. Resuming. Okay, so well, it's on the password page, and so let's go ahead, and we're just going to so we're going to use the class password, and many of you would know what's the class password you normally give here. So small abc, capital ABC, chip 123 without chip 123. That's at the start. It is small abc. So you can give any other password. You can also use XYZ, caps XYZ, chip 123 without chip 1. You get the idea then. So it's slash here and then this. So anyone you can use. I'll just be using this one, and it's already synchronized on your side on your teams. So I'm gonna put there small abc, capital ABC, chip 123 without chip 123, and small abc, capital ABC, chip 123 without chip 123. Yeah, signature password exactly. So and let's click finito, and well, now we're gonna go inside and just do some configuration. So what are the configurations we need to do inside the machine? So once logged in with local admin user to Windows Server 2019. Server 2019 out. It's not out, it's 2. Then we need to go for activate the VM and make sure it is 180 days, and then make sure it shows 180 days right bottom of the page above the clock, and then it is VMware tools are installed also. So VMware tools are installed, and what? And then there is rename the VM to your first name VM01, rename the VM to your first name VM01, right? And rename the VM to your first name VM01. Then check the time zone and time. Also change the power settings to not lock after an idle time of 15 minutes. So remove that screensaver settings. And once these are okay, turn off firewall, and IE enhanced settings, and then finally that's so yeah, when you're changing so VMware Tools requires a restart, and rename requires a restart. So we restart only, so we install the VMware Tools, but we will not restart the machine, and then we will rename the machine, and then we will do just one restart after that. So otherwise we restart separate for VMware Tools and separate for VM for renaming as well. So let's just make both changes and restart once. Okay. So all right. So let us turn off firewall, and yeah. Then we're gonna take a snapshot. Take snapshot, and then we go ahead install Active Directory and DNS, and create 390 users from PowerShell script. Yay. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so here let's go for this. I have logged in already, and I'm going to check that. Normally, if you have given NAT already, then you have internet already in this machine. So when you log in and you have given this much time, so I did log in, I guess, and oh, serious, I didn't log in. So let's log in first. So how to log in? Just select these three buttons to send, Control Alt Delete, and then put the small ABC capital SHIP.23 without SHIP.23. What's the password? And I can see this already. If you see, when you're logging in, and if you see this blue bar here, you can press yes here, that your machine would be discoverable within this network. And then there's another pop-up here, try managing servers with Windows Admin Center. So I'll just close this, right? So what I want to do first is to simply minimize this. Why? This server manager here, server manager, I'm going to minimize. Why? I need to just show you that it is already activated, and it shows here this right above the clock. It should show here 180 days, right? So this is one thing, and make sure that there's no yellow triangle here showing on this network icon here, network icon, this one, right? So okay, so it's 180 days here, Windows license valid for 180 days, right? And that's the first thing that was done. So I'll just mark it as green, and let's go ahead. So this is green, done. All right, bottom here, yeah, that's done. So VMware tools are installed. So let's install the VMware tools now, and then we're not going to restart after that. Then we're going to rename the machine, and then we're going to restart after that. So I'm going to go back here and go for the VMware tools. Right click, and there's this install VMware tools here. And once we click the install VMware tools, so I'm going to click that, and it's going to do a pop-up here. What it does is that it mounts the VMware tools to the CD DVD of this virtual machine. So there's a pop-up coming here. I could click that, but I'm going to deliberately miss it. So suppose you did miss it, so what? Then how do you go to the VMware tools? If you go here and click that pop-up here, so you can just select setup 64, but since I deliberately missed it, so I'm just going to go to the yellow folder here to show you in case you miss it. Then what you do, you go to yellow folder or file explorer here, and then you go to this PC, and then you should be seeing that the VMware tools have been mounted to the CD DVD of this virtual machine with a big gray VM icon. So you need to just simply double click this gray VM icon. Right? So I'm just going to double click that. And it's popping up here. And welcome to the installation wizard for VMware tools. So it's just a simple next install task, nothing to change here, right? Then after that we restart. So I'm just going to click next. And there's typical here. So I'm going to click next and install, right? And well, once you click install, so you can see that the screen expands and it becomes very user friendly, and many of the advanced features also are introduced with VMware tools. So I'm going to click finito, right? So I'll be clicking finito here. Now I'm not going to restart after this. I'm going to restart when I rename this machine, right? So you must restart your system for the configuration changes. So I'm going to click no here to the restart of the VMware tools. And then I'm going to right click on this PC. And then I'm just going to rename this machine, and I'm going to go to properties. So right click on this PC and click properties, or you can go to server manager here, go to local server, and click this computer name. So it's gonna take you to the same, but if you have already right clicked this PC in yellow folder and click properties, then there's change settings here. So let's click the change settings, and so you need to click the change as well. After change settings, you need to click change as well, and here you can give that information. So this is your first name, Win 2019. So if your first name is longer, then give half of your first name. If half of your first name is also longer, then give half of your first name. Haha. Okay. So here, press O and K. And yeah, next class will be in the patio. So we will select which patio we need to go, and it will be BYOD, bring your own device, and BYOC, bring your own coffee. Okay, just kidding. So we will press OK and click close. Or maybe in the Bluffers Park, you know, there's a beach there, or there's a park, but just kidding. And I'm going to click close and restart. So after renaming and restarting the machine, now we can just move ahead. So I'm just gonna go back to the VMware tools and rename the VM. It has done. Check the time zone and time and change the power settings. So I'll just go ahead. So check the time zone and time. I'll do that now. Well, first of all, I'm just gonna log in there. So once it is back, we can just click these three buttons, right? And small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1 2 3, without shift 1 2 3. So once we logged in, I'm just gonna check now the time zone. So I'm gonna click local server here, and so I'm gonna click the local server, and I'm gonna go for checking the time and time zone. So time zone is okay, Eastern time, US and Canada, unless you're connecting from US. So Eastern time, US and Canada. And then there is Windows Defender Firewall here. So it's private on, right? I'm just gonna click that Windows Defender Firewall. So guys, we need to turn off the firewall as well, and IE enhanced security as well. This one and this one in local server inside Server Manager. So I'm gonna go for Windows Firewall. I'll click the private on. I will click the private on, and there's domain network, private network, and public network. So I'll be turning them off, and domain network, I'm going to click on top of this now, domain network, and then simply there's a Windows Defender Firewall which is on. I'm going to click on it, so it should turn off, right? And once it is turned off, then I can go for back arrow. Then there is domain network is off, right? Private is still on, it says here, and public is still on, it says here. So I'm going to click on private network and turn it off and back, right? And then private is off as well, public is on now. So public, turn it off and back. Yay. Okay, so here, so the firewalls are off, and I'm going to go for the IE enhanced security. This is just for the browser security. It's good actually, but the thing is that it tries to prompt a lot, give us a lot of prompts there that it's enhanced. Are you sure you want to connect to this site? Are you sure you want to connect to this site? So we don't want those kind of prompts here, bugging us. So I'm just going to click on here and off, right? And press O and K, right? So I'm going to turn off both administrators and users profiles here. I'm going to press OK. Okay, so what is done till now? Check time and time zone, yes, done. Change the power settings, actually that is not done, but turn off firewall and IE enhanced security, that is done. So we need this to be finished as well. Change the power settings to not lock after an idle time of 15 minutes. So let's see where this setting is. I'm going to click Z's here, Z's, And then I'm going to go for I'm going to go here. So just make sure that you're not clicking on the physical laptop Windows icon. You're clicking the virtual machine Windows icon here. If you right click here, then you go way up there to power options. Okay, power options here, and then oh, it's on 10 minutes. So if we are configuring some other machine and then we come back here, or we go to cloud and doing a lot of configuration, then we come back here. So if it's more than 10 minutes, it's gonna lock us out, so we have to put the username password again, right? So we want to avoid that for our training environment. So I'm gonna select that and go way down to never. So now our machine will not be locked out, and we don't have to come back and every time put a username password to unlock, right? So I'm going to close this, and this is also done. So there you go, and take snapshot. So now is the time to take a snapshot. So that's a good thing. If suppose we mess up our machine, so and we want to go back to the previous snapshot where all this is already configured, so that's very good. It's already configured here, so I'm just gonna click. I'm gonna go for the snapshot. Till now, whatever is configured will be saved. So I'll just go to the VMware workstation here, and then I'm gonna go for right click here on the top, and there is the snap and shot. Okay, snapshot. So I'm going to click take snapshot here. Ready? Okay. And it's better to put all the information here. And guys, one more thing here is that we haven't put the static IP yet, and I actually did not mention that here as well. So I'll be putting here put a static IP. Static IP is there. It's important to be given to the machine that is going to be having Active Directory and DNS. When you install an Active Directory on a Windows server, it is called domain controller as well. So when you're installing domain controller, it's good to have static IP given here with the local DNS IP as well. We're still gonna connect with the internet by putting another network card there. So if I go back to this diagram, this is the virtual machine here. So our suppose this samosa-like shape is actually samosa is my another next best snack. So tasty. Okay, anyway, so yeah, this samosa-like shape, triangle shape here is the network card. So suppose this is the NIC1, right? So this we're going to give the static IP because Active Directory, it's a best practice to give that there. But then we need the network internet right away. So we're going to add a second network card. Now the first one, once you give a static IP here, and we're going to give the static IP of 192.168.200.1, 255.255.255.0, and no gateway. So this is IP is this, subnet mask is this, and gateway we don't need actually any, and PD, LAPD. No, it's preferred DNS. So that would be, again, obviously, since we are planning to install the DNS on top of this particular machine, so the preferred DNS would be the same IP of this machine. But this is a static IP that we're going to give to the first NIC here, right? And the second NIC would simply be connected to NAT. So it will grab that IP information from actually inside DHCP of VMware Workstation, but it's going to ultimately connect us to the internet, which we really need. But first, network card. Now we're about to give the static IP, so at least from this network card, we won't be able to get internet anymore because we're giving it a static IP that is not connected to any NAT and that is a totally different scheme than our local DSL router scheme, IP scheme. So we're about to give the static IP because Active Directory best practice is this. So put a static IP, and I gave that IP there already. What IP we need to put? So let's go ahead in our machine. So we're about to take a snapshot. We're not going to take a snapshot now. After we give a static IP, then we will come back here and take a snapshot, right? So again, we're going to come back here and take a snap and shot. So I'm just going to cancel out from here right now because we're about to give a static IP here for Active Directory. Cancel, and then I'm going to go for local server, and we're going to go for Ethernet 0, right? So server manager, local server, Ethernet 0, and click on top of that. I'm going to double click Ethernet 0. I'm going to click properties. Now, out of a bad habit, I am going to uncheck Internet Protocol version 6, because when we need to troubleshoot, if we need to, then we're not very used to seeing IPv6 format of IP. So that's why I'm unchecking only this. Then I'm going to double click Internet Protocol version 4 because I need to go inside this TCP IPv4 and give the static IP, right? So I'm going to select this and properties, or double click it and just give that static I and P. It's not I and P, it's IP. So I use the following IP address: 192.168.200 and uno, right? And you press tab, 255.255.250. Okay, if you press tab on the keyboard again, it's going to go to the next, but we do not want to give default gateway. We don't need to. And if you press tab again and again, now it's on top of the preferred DNS server. Yes, we are going to install now the DNS server on this machine, so we're giving the same IP of the preferred DNS here as well: 192.168.200.uno. Uno is 1. Uno is 1 in Spanish, right? And is 1 in French. Okay. See? But I don't know what is 1 in Japanese. Okay. Anyway. So I'll just go for uno or and there you go. So 192.168.200.1, and I'm going to press O and K. And that's it. So once you give the static IP here and close and cross. So if I go back to the list, yes, it's already put a static IPs green. Now we're going to go for take snapshot. Okay, so I'm going to go to the top here to take a snapshot now. I'm going to right click on this white label area of the machine, and then there's the snapshot option and there's the take snapshot, right? So this would be the snapshot 1 of this machine. Snapshot 1. And let's go for so the more information we put, the better. So activated static IP given renamed. At least this much information is there, so it's good. If you've put this information, activated static IP given renamed, then we need to click save. Save. Okay. I'm going to click take snapshot here. Alright, so we're good. And what is in the list? So take snapshot is done as well. Now we need to install on-premises Active Directory and DNS together. And once it is installed, it's going to restart, and then we're going to go for create 390 users. So I'm going to share a PowerShell script with you. I'm going to show you how to run it, and it will create 390 users for us in a few seconds, right? So first thing is install Active Directory and DNS. So we're pretending this is our Toronto branch and we have, yep,
Just a question. It's showing me V Ethernet instead of Ethernet 0.
where in, if I go to Ethernet 0 and click that, oh, you're seeing
It's
actually
showing
the
me.
Windows 10 one. I think you're seeing there Windows 10. You're supposed to go inside the window, like the virtual machine. If you see on the physical laptop, I think you're seeing there. So if I go to my physical laptop, network configuration information, so view hardware network connections, there is not here. Show available networks, was it there? I'm old school, so I just go to that old network sharing. Yeah,
Junior Doctor options, I guess.
yeah. So V Ethernet, are you showing here? No, it's not actually
No,
showing.
in the server actually. In server, I'm getting two network cards, Ethernet 0 and V
Can
Ethernet.
you share the screen? Actually, you installed Hyper-V as well, did you? No, right?
Yes.
Hey, that's why. Okay, so you're like on Mars and we are just traveling on tricycle on Earth. So you went way ahead. So yeah, when vEthernet appears when Hyper-V is installed, so it's okay. We never installed that till now, so we're gonna be installing that later when we get to that lab of Hyper-V. But if it is installed now, it's okay. Doesn't matter. And vEthernet will show definitely when Hyper-V is showing. But I will explain that in detail then when we are there, when we're doing the lab together. So,
Okay, sure.
okay guys, here we need to go for the next steps, which is install Active Directory and DNS. And let's go ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm on the server manager here. I'm going to go for dashboard, right? Server manager, dashboard, and add roles and features. So I'm going to click that, add roles and features. Once we click that, then I'm going to click next. Role based or feature based installation, yes. Next, right? And then yeah, the correct name and the IP. Well, even if it's not correct IP, it's okay because it's getting the IP or showing the IP.
Sorry, Amir, where did you select this? I just you go to dashboard?
Yes. So here dashboard. No, yeah, dashboard. Did I say no?
Yeah.
It is dashboard.
Edit role and feature.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay. So let's go ahead and click add roles and features. And next, role-based or feature-based installation. Next. So don't worry if the IP is wrong. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It's still gonna work. Don't worry. We did put the correct IP, so it's okay. And next. Now here, guys, you need to select the second option, which is Active Directory Domain Services. So you need to select the checkbox here. Was there any question? Nope. Okay. So I'll just click the checkbox. It's gonna pop up, and when it pops up like this, click Add Features. Well, we don't need to select the DNS here because Active Directory will install the DNS for us, and in fact, it's gonna configure forward lookup zone portion of that as well. So we just need to select Active Directory. We're not installing DHCP because we just need one machine here to do this lab, and we don't need multiple machines here. So I'm going to go for Active Directory Domain Services. Selected. If it is selected, that's it. And click Next. Nothing in the features. Nothing in the features. And click Next. Okay, nothing here. Actually, it's saying that, hey, you can connect to Azure Active Directory. Yeah, and see this? It's saying configure Office 365 with Azure Active Directory Connect, AADC. This is what we're about to use. So let's click Next. As a habit, I know that it's not going to require a restart, but if there's any pending restart for anything we were doing, so it's going to restart. So it's going to decide whether to restart or not. So I'm going to leave the decision to this interface. I'm going to click here and then press yes and click install. Okay, while this is going on, so where are we in this mess? Oh, I mean like this in this diagram. So we are configuring this portion right now, and we are configuring this one physical, well, this one server that has Active Directory and DNS. We're about to install that, and then we're going to create 390 users. So once this whole on-premises Active Directory, which we're presenting as our Toronto local branch, once this is configured, then we're going to go for our Azure Active Directory, and we're going to do some configurations there as well to prepare it to receive all the 390 users here in Azure Active Directory. So we're going to go there after this is set up. So it's on-premises setup going on. And while this is, wow, that's taking time. So it's gonna just shoot up from here like Aziz.
Amir, I do have a question. Yeah, so you said each data center can cover 300,000 servers. Is that possible?
Yes, so data centers are big, and they are going to definitely, so Azure data centers, if we go for that, so these are huge setups. They're like
So this amount could we have on the cloud? We cannot have on-prem. Is that correct? We can.
they are offering cloud,
Yeah.
so they are on-prem here. Like they have their own on-premises. There's a physical facility here that's huge, and then they have lots and lots of rows of servers which are offering us cloud. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So they are giving us cloud, but they're not all on, like they're not using somebody else's data centers. They are just providing us their own access to their own data center. So maybe this data center is near Toronto, and maybe we will be connecting to this particular data center. I'm just assuming that, right? But we're just connecting to any of their facilities, and they're connecting us to any of their servers in any of the big data centers they have. And yes, 300,000 up to 500,000 or 800,000 servers are also possible. Yeah, you were saying?
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, you can see that that's a big area here, and that's huge. So that's why they can have thousands and thousands of. Okay. Now,
So some jobs they ask for experience in data center. So they mean they ask for the guy that has experience in data center or every data center. For example, in my previous company, we had data center, but it was just like 5, 6 server, but a very big server. Yeah, we can call this data center or no?
Yeah. So they were asking about the experience for previous infrastructure. That is definitely, if it was a bigger data center experience that we had before, that is good. But small data center, yeah, whatever experience we have, we can just give them. If it's just 5 or 6 servers, yeah, we can say that, and they would realize and they would understand that what is our experience or what level is our experience on. So yeah, it could be small data centers previously and large as well. So, but yes, they do prefer those guys that have experience in the older companies' data centers, the company's on-premises, and plus this virtual data center that is in the cloud. So 2 experiences they need.
Okay, thank you.
And okay, so there's that installation progress done. Now, if you saw the close and you clicked it, because we are tempted to do that, so in that case, you can go there to the yellow triangle and simply click this, promote this server to our domain controller. So either you click that, or this is exactly the same thing here. So we click that. Any one of those you can click is the same thing. I'm going to click it, and this window opens, and it's saying that, hey, you're creating the first forest, first site, first domain here. So what is the name of the domain or the Microsoft network you want to give? So we can give here Tor domain. You can just give any name here, right? .local. Toronto domain. Suppose we have a Toronto branch here and Tor domain here, right? So Tor domain and .local. Once you have given this name, after choosing the third option, then click next. Yay. And then you can see that it already has selected the DNS. So that's why I was saying you don't have to select back there, because it has this DNS server selected here, and we just need to give a password for DSRM, Directory Services Restore Mode. This mode is used for restoring any backups or troubleshooting any domain controller related issues by going to the safe mode where the drivers are not loaded. So I'm going to give just a class password here. Small abc 123 .123 small abc for okay, and click next.
Sorry, Amir, why it not set forest function level to server 2019? Why it said 2016?
Hey, that's a good question. Well, because it's backward compatibility showing here. So backward compatibility means that whichever older versions of Windows, if you have, you want to go to that level. Suppose you have Toronto branch and you have New York branch, and Toronto branch actually has 2016, while in New York branch you're going for 2019. So in that case, actually, this is supposed to say 2019 here. You're right, but it's just showing you that 2019 is the same as 2016 for its functional level. So this also means that whatever features were introduced in 2016 Windows are still the same features in 2019 as well. So that's a good point. They should have put here 2019, but hey, did I install 20? What am I installing here? Run Win version. Yeah, 2019. Okay. So good point here. So they are investing more on cloud now and less on the operating system. So they are just saying whatever we introduced in 2016 level, that we're not improving any other features. We're not introducing any other features to 2019. So yeah, that's why. Okay, so we put the password here, and we click next. And so once we click next, so nothing on this screen, it's just saying that, hey, I cannot find a DNS here. Obviously, we're in the process of installing the DNS, so that's why you cannot find it. So nothing to do on this screen. Click next. Right? Now it's going to go for NetBIOS domain name, and that is just a single name access to that directory for older legacy applications. We don't need to change anything on this page as well, and click next. Then it just gives the path of the Active Directory and files there, so nothing to change here, and click next. Summary, and click next. Install. So yeah, some warnings here. We don't need to pay attention to those. They are harmless. And click install. So now it's going to install and restart the domain controller. It's going to take some time here, and but when we are done, when this process is done, then it would have been it would have become a domain controller, which means Active Directory and DNS would have been fully installed. While this is going on, I need to share the PowerShell script to you, so you could download those two files. We need to download those two files in our laptop or desktop, and then we need to copy them in this virtual machine once the Active Directory is fully installed. But let me just share the files first with you. So I'll just drag this page on the other side. Software. Okay, I'm just looking at the other screen here, and 390 user script. Okay, I'm gonna put a link here that you can download the two files. So first of all, I'll put the link in the Teams. So here, guys, if you go to the left side, oh, I didn't create a downloads folder here. Okay, I'll create a separate downloads or all downloads. Here, download the PowerShell script to create 390 users, and then I'll copy this and put it in the chat. So go ahead, and there are two files there that you need to download first in your laptop, and then copy it in this virtual machine in documents folder or downloads folder inside the virtual machine that we just created now. So I copied that two files there, and then I put it on WhatsApp as well, so you can download the two files. And okay, so what are the two files there? If I drag this here, so these are two files. One file is createlabusers.ps1, which is a PowerShell file, and labusers.csv. CSV just like a document or text file, so it just contains the names of the 390 users in a format, in a kind of a format that is acceptable by this PowerShell file. So you need to download these two together and or separately one by one, and then once your server is fully restarted and logged in, then you need to copy inside the documents folder of the virtual machine or downloads folder of the virtual machine these two files together, right? Copy in the virtual machine. So first I'm gonna download that. I'll right click on this and download. We need to run this inside I already have downloaded that inside the virtual machine, not on your laptop, Windows 10, inside the virtual machine. So I'm going to download lab users as and well. Wow, I've downloaded that a million times in my laptop. Then once they're downloaded here, then I'm going to click this and show in folder. And .csv and .ps1. And I'm going to right click on this and copy. Right click on this and copy, right? And I need to paste it. Once it's already downloaded in my laptop, so I'm just going to copy paste it in my machine. Let me check. Oh, my machine is not there yet, so I'll wait for it.
Amir, so it's not likely to download the Create Lab User PS1. It says it is not safe. This one is blocked because this type of file can harm your device. So what should I do?
Yes. Oh yeah, I mean it's not gonna harm you. It's okay.
Yeah, but
No, it says that too.
do you think should I turn off my antivirus?
Yeah,
It's
antivirus
not
is
because
just giving a warning for these types of files, but it's okay. So yeah, otherwise you won't be able. If suppose you don't want to do it, you can just create 5 users in your Active Directory yourself. But this script creates 390 users. But yes, normally .ps1 extension files, some hackers also use that. I'm not one of those. I'm a very good guy. Okay. So here, my machine is actually back, and I'm going to click the 3 Control-Delete here, 3 buttons to log in. Now you can see that it shows Tor domain /administrator. So that's a domain administrator that has all the powers on the Microsoft network or domain. So I'm gonna just select that and small abc, shift 123, shift 123, right? And I'm gonna click this. Alright, so there's that picture shared, and so was blocked because this type of file can harm your device. Oh, Create Lab Users.ps1 was blocked. Ouch.
I mean, I think I have it. You already sent me. So can you use that one?
Exactly, that's the same one.
Okay.
That's very good. So you have a very good antivirus, this means. Which one is it anyway? Gaffy?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Okay. ONK. Defender. So Jay says Defender didn't pick it up. Yeah, so Defender may not be good. May not. So, okay guys, here, once we have logged in, now this step I did not write here, so I'll just simply write it down. And, well, create 390 users. So, well, it's a pretty understood thing that download and copy the PowerShell script inside the virtual machine downloads folder, and then create 390 users from this PowerShell script. So yeah, so install Active Directory in DNS, and I logged in, so this step is done. Install Active Directory in DNS, right? Download and copy, well, this stuff is done as well, that we downloaded, and I'm about to copy those two files inside the virtual machine. So I'll go here and I'm going to go for the yellow folder and downloads folder, right click here, and there's the paste button that I cannot see. I cannot click. So okay, I'll go back here to the two files and I'll right click again, copy. This time quickly go to the downloads folder, right click, and there you go. Now the paste button is here. Yay! And the files are pasted inside the downloads folder. Yay! And create lab users, right? So if it is copy pasted already inside your machine, virtual machine that is, then we need to launch it, right? So hopefully everyone was done, and I need to, how do I launch that? So there's several ways that you can just open PowerShell with admin privileges, and then you can go to this area. If I click on this downloads path, so it's a long one, but if we right click here on create lab users, if I right click on this file, then you will see this, run with PowerShell. So simply right click on the PS1 file, and then you need to select run with PowerShell. What will that do? It will ask, hey, where is that other file, lab users.csv, that has all the 390 usernames there. So when we run this PS1 file, it will ask where is lab users. We're going to give the path, hey, there's that lab users, and we're going to double click that file when it asks it, and it's going to get all the names from the lab users, and it's going to create a usernames in Active Directory for all the names in the files. You can just put your name in the same format, and it's going to create a user account for your name as well. Okay, so I'm going to right click on the PS1 file, and I'm going to run with PowerShell. So as soon as I do that, then it gives me execution policy change. If in case you see that, this means there's that policy that in the PowerShell normally in all new machines that it's not going to let you run the file unless you change the policy. Just for security reasons, it does that. So it just says that changing the execution policy might expose you to that security risk described in the about section, blah blah blah. So do you want to change the execution policy? And I'm gonna say yes. So I'm gonna type Y here and press enter. So I'll type Y, and which is yes, and enter. Now it asks what? Oh, it's already working. Okay, so Ed is seeing the magic already, and that's very good. So where, now it's asking the CSV file, so where's that CSV file? Remember that we put it in the downloads folder, so where is the downloads folder? Here. So we can go here to this, and this is the downloads folder, right? It is here, Z's one. So I'm going to go for Z's. Downloads, and there's that file. So just simply go ahead and double click that file or select and open, and then see the magic. Okay, right? Double click. So it creates the user count automatically. Oh, Pakistani mangoes, man, they are so tasty. You gotta taste them. Where? Mangoes, farms on.
$4 and $24.
$4 and $24. Yeah, that's just ridiculous, man. Mango simply 1.4 kg, 3 pounds, $20. Really? It's so expensive. Uh-oh. That's not me. No, they're delivering mangoes. Okay. Yummy. Okay. So, is it done? Yes. Okay. So the script is already run, and we need to have a proof that that this is good. Did we create the 30 users or not? So I'm going to go to Server Manager. Where's the proof, right? And then Tools, and then Active Directory Users and Computers. I need to see if in Active Directory Users and Computers we have a new folder or container called Exchange Users. Inside that Exchange Users, you will find all the 390 users. So you need to have a proof that all the 390 users were created, right? So Active Directory and Computers, I'm going to click that. And yes, this is our domain, tordomain.local. If I expand that, so I see Exchange users there. So yes, all the users, 300 users are here. Yay. Okay. So once the 390 users are there, then I'm just gonna put the list here. Yay, this is done. Okay, so we have pretty much completed the on-premises side of our lab. So if I say that the Z's portion is done, and now we need to go for configuring this portion. So now we need to get this Azure Active Directory ready, because we need to connect the local on-premises Toronto branch Active Directory. We need to connect this with a connector called AADC to our Azure Active Directory. And we need to synchronize all the 300 users there in Azure Active Directory in the cloud. So that's the next step. Let's go for Azure Active Directory now. So we need to log into Office 365, and so let me just give you some steps there of this. Yeah, so let's create on-premises infrastructure. That's what we were doing before. Now it's the second one, that is, let's create yeah, so Azure Active Directory environment. Actually, it's already created. It's just that we need to okay, so here oops, did I do that? Okay, anyway, now we're going to, let's go to https://portal.office.com, and let's log in with the username that we created last week and the class password. So that username that we created last week was with this format. So I'm gonna put that username. If you followed exactly what I did, or if you know already what the username is, so in my case the username is Z's, and the password is so password is small abc right? I think this or like or that's for my side. I think I put either ABC or I put XYZ. I think I put XYZ. So this is the username admin at your first name, the date of the start of the course 5 June 2021, and I asked for putting a unique word there, so I put biryani and you would have put something else. So I hope you remember that. So I'm going to go to now this portal.office.com. I'm going to log in from this username and this password. Yep.
Can I ask, please? I need clarification as regards this. So you want us to create a username with admin at all of this?
We did that in last class at the end of the class.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So welcome, but you can just see the video of the last class, how we created that. And then you can join here. But Eddie, you can go to, let me just give you the link. So it was Office 365 E5 trial. If I just Google that and go to free trial, and hopefully it takes me to that page of sign up. Yeah, that's one. So that's what I'm pasting there in the chat, and you can and also in WhatsApp. This is the group. So yeah, you can just click this link and create an account, and you can join us, catch up. All right. So
if you don't mind, do you want me to use that email address as the?
Oh, I need to use
Oh,
my
I
own.
need to use my
yes,
own.
your own, the private email, which is Gmail or Yahoo or Hotmail, whichever.
I've created like 5 accounts already in the past. Okay, let me find an account to
So
use
yeah,
for that.
exactly
Thank
what
you.
you did. So yeah, in previous courses. Okay, so there are other chats I didn't see. Munzer says, do you have VC for AZ104? Yeah, sure. Okay. And Jay says, I had to run the PowerShell script as administrator in order to get the script working. Okay, cool. So if you made it working, that's good. And yeah, so guys, I'm gonna go ahead and try to log in, right? So I'm gonna go to portal.office.com now, and I'm gonna log in from admin at the domain name dot. Remember, see this? It ends with free domain. It ends with onmicrosoft.com, which is a free domain, right? So we're gonna change that to later. We just need to purchase one free, one very cheap 1 year domain for from GoDaddy.com, and that also I explained last week. So okay, I'm gonna go to portal.office.com. Let me just go. In fact, I'm logged in from office.com for this course, so I need to go to another browser to do that now. And there I am logging in. See, this Lasani ad is coming, so why don't I just put mangoes here whenever I put that now here, so you see the picture of mango. Anyway, so I'll go there, and I need to just log out from my Humber account so I could log in from this new one. Oh yeah, remember that I use a third browser, which is Firefox. So I'll just open Firefox because I'm already logged in from Humber College Office 5 with a lot of pages there, so I don't want to sign out from there. So I'll just go for Firefox for this. So portal dot, why is it not going away? Okay, yeah, pin 2000, no. All right, good. So in Firefox, I'll go for portal.office.com, and then, yeah, so it 5 June, thank God, it shows here already. So Amir 05 June 2021 biryani.onwardsup.com. I'll click that, and it's asking for a password. So it's a small image. I think I put XYZ, so I'm just gonna start with small XYZ, capital XYZ, shift 123 without shift 123, and sign in, save. Yeah, save it. Okay, save. Now, guys, see this warning here? You may be getting that too. So it's asking you to enable multi-factor authentication. So we can skip it for 14 days, but after that we'll be if you see this already, then it's good to go ahead now and create a multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor would be, I'm sure you all know that, when you put a password here in the browser, it will ask on your cell phone as well to click approve on the authenticator app, or it will send you a text and you need to put the code in the text here. So it's just two factors authentication. One is browser-based password, another one is cell phone-based. Then it will let you log in. So it does say skip for now, but if we start creating that, then okay. So if you all see that, hopefully anyone not seeing that, let me know. Anyone who is following and is not seeing that, if you're seeing that, then instead of skipping it, we can actually configure the multi-factor authentication now. Right?
Yeah, it asked me this morning, but I don't know what happened to it. Okay, try open it
No,
again.
but you're logged in now to Office 365 Azure. If you're already logged in successfully, then you may have clicked the skip.
No, I mean, it not let me. It asked for configure the, I would this name, this authentication, yeah.
Okay, so if you see next here, so let's not click skip, let's click next. And then it will just simply ask us to, so it's saying that download the Authenticator app in your Microsoft Authenticator app in your cell phone. So everyone has it? Yes. Okay, thank you for that reply. Yeah, I think if you don't have it, so then go to your cell phone. If it is iPhone, go to App Store. If it's Android, then go to Play Store, and then search for the app called Microsoft Authenticator and download it. So Jay says he has it. Anyone who doesn't have it in your cell phone and is following the lab, so those who are following the lab have it, or if they just want me to go ahead, it's okay as well. So yeah, I'll just go ahead now, and Microsoft Authenticator is in my cell phone. Okay, if you know Microsoft Authenticator, the bad thing about this is, which is actually a good thing, but bad thing for training, good thing for security, that it doesn't let me take a screenshot of the cell phone screen when Authenticator app is open. So this is a security feature. Otherwise, I would have shown you the steps there as well. Oh, I'm able to take a screenshot. In Android, I was not able to do that, but in iPhone, I'm able to do that. Serious? I just changed from Android to iPhone. I'm an iPhone fan. Okay, so this means that once you have the Authenticator app on, then let me share the first screenshot here. If you already have some accounts, then go to the plus sign. If otherwise, if you see the screen already there without any accounts, then wait for me. So I'm just sharing that first screenshot. Look at your WhatsApp now. And hey, how come it's not showing in my WhatsApp? I hope it's showing in your WhatsApp right now. Or did I share it to the wrong group? Let me check. Who did I share with? Are you able to see that in WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
So I'll just go ahead and click the plus sign. If you have already account, then you will see that. Hassan says, if Authenticator is already configured for other apps, will it get affected with current one? No, it's not going to get affected. You can add here 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 accounts. Doesn't matter. If you see the screenshot on the WhatsApp, I have 4 other accounts and I'm still clicking the plus sign. Now it shows you that work or school accounts, right? When you click the plus sign, if you have, so just select the work or school account, which is this next screenshot that I'm sharing now. There you go. So hopefully you're seeing that other screenshot as well. And that shows that I'm selecting the work or school account. Yes, it shows you the QR code. So then we click next and the QR code will appear here. So when I click that work or school account, then it asks for scan QR code. It's just taking time because I'm actually making those screenshots for you and sharing it on cell phone to your group. So that's the next screenshot. Yeah.
Sorry about this, please. Can you confirm how you got to this window where you are setting up MFA?
Yeah, so the first time when we log in, or if you sign out and it's the second time when we are logging in, then it is asking us automatically to configure this. If it is not asking you,
Thank you.
Okay. So scan QR code, right? So I will simply go for scan QR code. I'm gonna click that, which I shared in the screenshot in the WhatsApp as well. So scan QR code. Now it's showing me QR code. It's actually asking me to access my camera in the cell phone, and then I'm gonna click next on this screen to get the QR code on my laptop. You need to click next if you're ready to scan the QR code in your cell phone. Then you need to click next here. So set up your account. Yeah. Okay, click next again, and there is your QR code. Ooh, yay! Or yay. Okay, I'm just trying to scan the QR code. It just saw my QR code from a distance and it started processing it right away. Use the Authenticator app to scan the QR code. This will connect the Microsoft Authenticator app with your account. After activation failed, make sure that the push notifications are enabled on the phone. Yeah. You've already used this QR code to add an account. Okay. Serious? Okay, I'll go next. Why is it not going ahead? Oh, I used this QR code. Can I just go back here and then generate another QR code? Yes, I generated. Hopefully this is another QR code. Oh, you know what? I have a restriction for kids through OpenDNS on my home. In my home, that's actually restricting me to go for QR code as well. I need to open the restriction on through OpenDNS. I blocked their games through OpenDNS and they cannot play. Ha ha ha. Cruel father. Okay, anyway. So I'm just going to another screen to open my OpenDNS configurations. I've told my home router to send traffic from OpenDNS, right? So then I can control their websites and everything. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to log in now. It gives you, yeah, so I'll just open up everything for now, so I could do my lab in my home. Okay, in 3 minutes it's gonna work. Okay. So guys, I'm just gonna try again the QR code, and then let's just go ahead. You already used this. Ah man, serious. Can't scan image. Okay. Oh, serious. Okay, it doesn't give me image then. I need to get another QR code, and it's not really giving me.
Click on card scan image.
Yeah, can't scan image. Then it gives me the details that I can write down. So that's a long one.
No, but you can enter that detail on your authenticator app, right? Instead of scanning it directly, just click on
Yes,
this.
you're right. It's just that my home restrictions in the router, I guess that's also could be a problem. So I just removed it. Okay, so yeah, I'll just simply, you know what, I'll go back.
Or use a different mobile phone.
Yeah.
Amir, I think you should download Authenticator on your mobile. Then, when you open it, I think you just put your mobile's camera on it. It's gonna work, something like that. I'm not sure because before I did, right now I forget.
Oh, okay. So you know what? I'll just go back quickly, and I'll simply close this, and I'll initiate the whole thing again. Double click Firefox.
Maybe in incognito environment.
Portal. Yeah, it's I opened my, I changed my settings in OpenDNS, and now I should be able to be going inside. Okay. So I'll just initiate the whole process.
Skip for
Yeah,
now.
that's gonna take time. You're right.
Go back.
Yeah, and hopefully it lets
Go
me
back.
skip. So I did not.
Yeah, it will let you. And until 40 days you have option.
Yeah, 14 days. Yeah. I want to use another. No, it's at that process.
Can you start that process again?
Yeah, I logged in from
Where you
portal.
got that option.
I logged in again from portal.office.com. Oh yeah,
Skip now.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Good saving of time. When it happens again, I'll just do that. Okay, thank you, and I'll press yes, and there you go. There you go. There you go. So here, once we're logged in, guys, so we need to make sure that you go way down to this gray icon called admin and click that. So we need to go to the Azure Active Directory, and we need to prepare it for the synchronization. So I'm going to click that gray A admin icon, and that opens up the admin center. This is our, headquarters, we can say, the admin center. That is all the admins console. So if we click show all here, if you click show all in the admin center, then you see these, right? So once we see these, then we need to simply click Azure Active Directory, and it's going to open yet another tab here, right? So I'm going to click Azure Active Directory, and it's going to open another tab here. I'm going to click that and skip this one. All right. So, yep.
And it's 31%. So still I didn't get it. Why we use Microsoft 365? What's the relation between Azure and what we do when what the which need we complete يعني which function complete both of them? What is it?
What is the Azure Active Directory?
So before why you use Microsoft 365 yeah.
Because
Because I think in the previous lab I didn't see that one. I'm not sure why you use it right now.
yes.
So
Well, this is because this is free. Microsoft 365, you can create as many accounts. So, and Azure Active Directory is in Microsoft 365 as well as it is in Azure Cloud. It's the exact same features of Azure Active Directory are there, but when you create Azure Active Directory and when you go for Azure Cloud, then it is only for 30 days, right? So instead of starting the 30 days now, we have the same Azure Active Directory in Microsoft 365 as well, and we can create as many free accounts of Microsoft 365, but we cannot create free accounts of Azure Cloud. Once we create it, the trial version will run for 30 days and that's it. After that, it will convert to pay as you go. So some of our users have still that chance to create a first time trial version. For them, I thought that we will create that Azure Cloud later when we go to the virtual machine creation, right? And
thank you. Got it.
So that's why I'm here. So hopefully everyone's here now. Azure Active Directory. Okay, so here I'm gonna go click users. Oh, sorry. So once we are inside the Azure Active Directory, what are we going to do? Why are we here first of all, and what we need to do? So first of all, we are here because we need to synchronize 390 users to Azure Active Directory. And so second thing is that we need to create a global admin account here. We need to create a new user account with the highest privileges, which is global admin here. Global admin has the highest privileges here. So why do we need a user account with global admin privileges? Because this user account will be used to initiate or start the synchronization from on-prem AD to Azure Cloud AD, right? So, when I was saying that we need to synchronize, right? We need to synchronize local Active Directory usernames to Azure Active Directory. So there has to be a Azure Active Directory highly privileged user account that need to be used here, so it could give permission to us to synchronize all the users to Azure Active Directory, right? So we're going to create a global admin account here that's going to be used here to allow this synchronization to happen. If this account is not here given, then we cannot synchronize from local Active Directory to Azure Active Directory or Cloud Active Directory, right? So let's create that global admin account now, right? And I'm going to go there. We're already inside the Azure Active Directory. If you click the Azure Active Directory here, then it takes us to users. So let's click the users, right? Once we click the users, then you already see the first account, that is the root account, or that's the main account, or the first account that we created. We're not going to use this to do the synchronization, and it's not going to let you use that too, because this is the root account. So it just says that create a new account. The documentation of Microsoft for this particular scenario asks us to create a new user account and give it global admin privileges, right? So let's click new user. So once I click the new user, right? It says create new user, create user or invite user. No, we're gonna create user. So let's click create user, and now you can see that your free domain is still showing there. That's going to change in next class. So right now we need to create a global admin account. So we can give a very simple name called GA. What is GA? Global admin. GA, right? So GA at whatever our domain is. That's a very long one. So once you click give the name here, then you can give here name global admin, and yeah, it's crucial to give here that, so that's why we're giving first name last name is not crucial. So global admin GA, right? And then we go down, auto generate password. Yes, that's okay, because we need to change the password. We need to first log in. So again, let me just give you another reason here. Why? So yes, we understand that we're about to create a new user, which is pretty simple, right? But Microsoft says if you want to use this global admin account here in the synchronization process, then you need to at least log in once from this account, at least once, and once you log in, change the password. Whatever password is, just change it. Microsoft wants at least once it to be logged in. Suppose you created the new global admin account, right? And then you start without logging in and changing the password. You went here and started the synchronization process. So it's going to give you an error. So that's a weird thing, right? It took me 2 hours way back when I was creating this lab. 2 hours to figure that out. It was not very clear in the documentation. In one group forum at the end of 200 pages, it was written, oh, did you log in and change the password? Okay, anyway, so here we need to create that new user account, give it global admin, then we need to log in once at least and change PW, password. Then it will allow you to use this account in synchronization. Otherwise, you will get weird errors that has nothing to do with that you did not log in. It will never tell you that. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead. So I am gonna go for yes, auto generate the password. It is okay, but I want to see my password. In my case, it has generated a password called Rabo3478, which is good. I'm going to open a empty notepad page, and I'm going to copy this information there because I need it later. So I'm going to copy this. Where's my notepad? Where's my notepad? Where's my so just type in search and open an empty notepad and double click that, and okay, so username equals ag at, okay, I'll copy that domain later, it's a long one, and password equals control V, Rabo3470. So go ahead, do that, it's useful for you, right? Yeah, OneNote, okay, yeah, OneNote also we can put that, but this information is about to change actually, so that's why I'm putting it here. So do it for yourself, everyone. And if I go further down here, so roles, groups, no, we don't have any groups to add this user to, but roles, yes. Remember, we need to give global admin role, right? So in roles, we need to go there and choose global admin and give it to this user, right? Yeah. Oh, I heard somebody's breathing, so I thought there was a question. So please mute your mic if your mic is still open. Okay, roles, and I'm going to click user. Now it says, hey, which role you want to give? So I go for search by name or description, and I want to type here global. If you type here global, there you go, you get global administrator. That's the highest role. Select global administrator and select. Click the select or select the selects. What about default groups? Manzur says, well, we didn't create any groups yet, and there are no default. It doesn't work. Active Directory here doesn't work the way it works in on-premises, right? So the default groups would not have this kind of permission that roles have. If you want to give any permissions, then you go to roles for that. But if you want to make them part of any groups, so you need to create those. There are default groups, but this is the approach that documentation tells us in Azure Active Directory. Okay, so global administrator, I'm going to select that and click select. So make sure it roles is global administrator showing here. If it is, then we go down block sign in. No way, we're not blocking it, right? User location, where are we? Canada. Okay, so I'm gonna drop down here, and in the filter I'm gonna type Canada and I'll select it. Yay. Okay, and job title, department, company name, manager, nah, we don't need that for this training environment. So that's it. So the changes we did is username GA, name is global admin, auto generate password, so it's whatever password you got, put it in your notepad or OneNote. Global administrator roles, you need to give global administrator, then you need to put Canada as a user location. That's it, right? Now let's click the Cree and 8 button here, right? Okay, you can see that role has been given, successfully user created. So we got the global admin user account, which is actually GA at. So guys, I need to put the long username in the notepad as well. So I'm going to click this to get the domain name or get the username, to copy the username. I clicked on it and I'm going to copy the full username and put it in notepad. It is this, right? Username is this. Wow, what a long. And make sure that at the end there is no space here.
Amir, I think I have a problem. Why? It said unable to create the account. I said same thing that you did, but it's interesting.
Unable. So it depends on the error. So do you see any error, or you can try to create another one?
I have the same error too, so I'm just changing the name. Let me see if that works.
Does this work right now? Mine said unable. Same. It said unable to create user global admin. Okay. Maybe it is problem with the global admin that I. We cannot use uppercase.
Well, we can, but try to use lowercase if you want. But normally we can use uppercase. Maybe you put global admin name. There's a dash you put there, or some character you use there. So just I put a space there. And so you can quickly share your screen if you are able to share your screen here.
So let's see. It's just gonna be like meeting. I have a lot of stuff. This one. You can see it.
What's sharing?
I just choose create user and username is GA.
Good. Okay.
And the name is global admin.
So this is the
auto generation password. I copy this and I just choose the global admin here. And so whenever I say whenever I say create, it said unable to create user, creating user global admin blah blah. See, and it give me. Many time I tried.
Let's go back and give it. Oh, you actually did global admin capital as well. You gave space as well, so it's not exactly that. So if you go up there, well, it does not show anywhere. Is that your Microsoft 365, or is it your?
So I come from here. I come from Active Directory
go up
from
there.
here, and
So yeah, you're good.
so I just keep this,
Yes.
and I said Active Directory create user, correct?
That's expires.
No?
Whatever
Out
it's,
here? Yeah, this is the Active Directory and user.
yeah.
No? Should I choose this one or this one? Why? What's the
It's the same.
difference? It's the same.
And let's go
Yeah,
for
and I
user.
create user, and I just put GA here,
GA1.
and
Actually, just let's just change something. GA1, but then you have to remember that too.
okay.
And then second thing is global
Okay.
admin, big one. So global space admin.
Maybe try a different name there.
Yeah.
And show.
Hoku is okay. Yeah. Different name is like, that's why I put one here. Otherwise, we can put any name here.
We go for role. We put global administrator. This one, Slack, and should be okay right now, correct?
Yeah, Canada.
I have this, copy this, and create.
Oh.
Hey, thank you. See, it's good from you.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
And you copied the username, right? Okay. So
Yeah, I do.
okay, I'll
Yeah.
share back my screen now. That's great.
Yeah.
And all right, so we're back, and Jay has said that what happens if the password expires for this account, or it's only needed to establish the AAD connector. No. Global admin does pretty much everything. So for this, we're just using it to initiate this AADC. Otherwise, it pretty much can do anything and everything within Office 365 and Azure as well if you're connected with that. So if its password changes or expires, yes, whatever it was doing, it will stop doing that. You need to just simply change the password, and it will stop doing whatever it was added to do. Okay, so normally we use a service account for that with higher privileges for ADC. So with that account, we can just keep doing that ADC task. This is just for training environment. We're going for global admin. Okay, so here, guys, just make sure that you have the username, password, because we need to sign out from this root account, root admin account, and we need to log in from GA or GA1 account, right? So for this, I'm asking you to copy this username and put it in a notepad somewhere, right? So if you have done that, then you need to sign out from this. See this? The admin account on the top, admin account. We need to sign out from that. This is the root account or the admin account. I need to sign out. I'm signing out now. And sign out from other consoles as well. Like just go to the consoles and simply sign out, because they're all logged in from admin accounts. Now sign in again. So just type portal.office.com. If it shows you this, use another account. Just go to another account and type your, or copy paste your AG at the whole domain name and the new password. Well, the automatically generated password, and then it will ask you to change that to new password. Then you can give small ABC, capital ABC, or XYZ, capital XYZ, shift 1, 2, 3. So if you don't see this, then you can type here portal.office.com. Just sign out, sign in, right? And yes, use another account. I'm going to sign out, and I'm using another account. Hey, my domain is already written there with admin. I do not want to log in from admin. I want to log in from AG or AG1, right? So I'm going to log in from this account, AG. I'm going to click next. The username may be incorrect. Make sure I typed it correctly. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Okay, I'll close this. Close this.
GA.
You logged in? Hey, that's not fair. I'm not logged in. Okay. Oh, GA. That's what we were saying. GA. So portal.office.com. Thank you. GA, not AG, and thank you. So I'll log in, and oh, what was my username? Oh, password. Rabo. Okay. Sign in. So guys, I'll not save it. Don't save. Okay, there you go. It needs to change the password. Yes. So I'm gonna put here XYZ, capital XYZ, shift 123 without shift 123, or ABC if you want to go for that. Small XYZ, capital XYZ, shift 123 without shift 123, and you need to remember this one because we're about to use it now. So click sign in, and there you go. Password doesn't match. What? The new password you entered is same as your old password. Oh, are you kidding me? Okay. Rabo, copy. Yeah, and XYZ, capital XYZ, shift 123 without shift 123. XYZ, capital XYZ, shift 123 without shift 123. Sign in. Yay! Okay, so I can skip. And I'm logged in. So once you have to sign in, remember, I need to change the password. So the new password I'm going to type here because I need it right away now. So this is the new password, XYZ, capital XYZ, shift 123 without shift 123, right? So this is, now we're kind of ready to do a synchronization. We got very less time now. So, okay, if the password changed, that's very good, right? So I'm going to minimize this. So guys, I do not need to stay logged in from GA. I'm not going to use GA for future labs. I will only use admin, the first account, not the GA. I'm going to use that GA today, yes, and maybe next class, but onwards, I'm only going to use admin. So I'm going to sign out from GA because I changed the password and I logged in once. That's all I need. So I'm going to sign out from here, right? Exactly. Okay. And I'll just switch to different account. I signed out from GA after logging in once. Now I need to paste, it's a very long domain, so I'll just change that GA to admin, but I need to copy paste the domain. It's punishingly long. So I'll just change that to admin again, right? I need to log in back from admin. And yeah, okay, password and skip. So if you're logged in back from admin, you're good. Just go to gray admin and then open Azure Active Directory. Yes, I want to stay logged in. And show all and Azure Active Directory. I'll just keep it open now, right? Skip. Now keep it open. Yay. Okay guys, so wow. Guys, so what happens is that we got 10 minutes left, and I do not want to rush because I need to explain a lot. So that's the purpose here. Do we understand what we're doing, and each and every option we understand or not? So this means that if we go back here, see this? Okay, so we have created the on-premises environment. We have, yes, pretty much made available the Azure environment as well. Next steps are download the ADC, copy it inside this machine, initiate the wizard step by step, one by one, put this username there, and the local administrator, domain administrator username, and then next, finish. But there are so many options in ADC that I need to discuss and explain why we choose this option and why not that option, right? So this will, okay, so Hudson says in the chat, for sync, do we need to re-log in with GA or admin account? Yeah, for sync we need to re-log in from admin account, right? So guys, we can leave it here because that's a lot of explanation. I don't want to rush because we can do it fast as well, but then that was not the purpose of starting the course. We need to understand each and every option, right? So we can leave it as is. Now guys, excuse me. You know, it's gonna be more headache for me, but and maybe for you as well. But are we okay at in future classes to start the class at 9 o'clock? Still, we're gonna finish at 2 o'clock instead of 4 hours. We're gonna give 5 hours. Is that okay for you? For everyone? Yeah, I see.
9:30.
So Orange is okay.
9:30. 9:30 gonna be better, I think. What do you think? I don't know.
4:30. Okay. 4.5 hours. Not 5 hours.
9:30. 9:30 till 2. Okay.
9 is okay.
9 is
Jay
okay.
says 9 is okay, and Orange says 9:30. Anyone with 9:15? So 9. Hey, why 9:30? Why not 9? Because 5 hours, right? So 9 is Jaspreet says 9 okay. Manzur says 9 okay. So Orange, there are more. Majority is going for 9, right? Mohammed says 9 is okay. Hassan says 9 is okay.
That's okay.
So it's a great majority, and we are a democracy. So although I have a veto right, 9 too early. Ade says, Karam is okay. 9. Ade, come on. So Ade and Orang are saying 9 too early. Hey, there are big labs I want to introduce, right? So
Okay.
Okay,
it's okay. I have mentor. Usually you tell on Saturday at 8:30 to 9:30. It's fine. Okay, we can do that. I change his time.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
But I mean, one question: why you create a new user to rethink the AD? So why you do not went with the first one that already be created? Why you create the global administrator?
Yeah, because the documentation will not allow the root account. Root account means first account, right? So document will not allow first account to be used for this process. Even if we try, it's going to give you error. So it says create a separate account because it's going to be permanently used for AADC purpose. So normally we create a system service account for that. So that's why root account cannot be a service account, which can be permanently used for this as well. So it's a very sensitive account. So that's why not 10.
So the another account always should be global administrator, correct? You cannot because there's a lot of option, you know. Okay.
Okay, thank you. And so yeah, everyone says 5, but I really needed to put more bigger labs, longer labs there. Don't worry, you will get breaks, more breaks. If you need a 5-minute, 10-minute break at 10, then we can give that if we start at 9, right? So majority are okay, and I wanted to also. In fact, I was gonna say 8 till 2, but then you would have thrown coffees and whatever is in your hand, you would have thrown through that monitor screen on me. So we're not going for 8 till 2. We're going for 9 till 2, right? Or later, if my VMware class is finished, we can just carry on with 10 till 3, right? But VMware class is at 3, so I'm like then really stuck. Alright guys, so well yeah, so everyone is agreeing with actually 9. Eddie, what do you say? Come on, just go to sleep at Friday early, and you have full Sunday to enjoy, right? So yeah, this is just a sacrifice for doing longer labs, right? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Alright guys, so 9 o'clock, I need to put a reminder. I hope I remember that. Yeah, I'll just put 2 or 3 reminders that I need to wake up at 8:30. I know it's painful. Okay, so okay guys, 9 o'clock till 2. We cover more labs, and the more we cover, the better. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Amir. So when your video gonna be uploaded? When?
Tonight or
Because I missed something.
so
Okay.
by
Thank
tomorrow,
you.
if not by tonight, right? Okay. Cool.
Okay. Have a good
All
one,
right, thank
guys.
you. Have a good weekend, and there are more comments there. Friday night is movie night. Oh yeah. Hey, Saturday night is movie night, isn't it? Okay. So early movie night. How about that? So and Manzur says July 1st. Yeah. So what's on July 1st? Next Saturday is July 1st. No.
I mean, long
Oh, July
weekend.
1st. Not so it's all.
It's not a long weekend.
Okay.
Long weekend, I guess.
So we'll have a democracy. If majority says we go off on long weekend, we go off. Otherwise, we have a class. So yeah, it's up to the majority vote. Earlier we finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lose the election. Yeah. And they should accept it.
Election.
Okay.
All right.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you. What about the long weekend? Yeah, long weekend we can put it on vote. Thank you, Prof. Okay, thank you. Maybe we can join Amir company as June. Oh, okay, sure. Sure. Okay, so okay, guys, that's it. See you next Saturday at 8:55 sharp, which is 9 o'clock. We start, right? Because we'll start right away with the critical steps. So you need to be here at 8:55. Thank you. Bye bye. All right. Thanks. Thank you. Bye. I'll put a suspension on this machine. Suspend guest.